hopes no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Hi, my lovely, beautiful mi amor, Michelle. I
Hi,
have
my
missed
babe.
you
I've missed you so much. Too much.
too much.
Too much.
And hi, Princess Megan Elsa, and Jane Doe, and Jennifer, and Natasha. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Rainbow Mom. Hi, Ramblin' Rome.
Am I echoing?
Mallory. Hi, Amelia. Hi, Emily. I saw there were some nice comments. I appreciate you guys, and a lot of you guys have sent me messages and things, and I just want you to know that I've got them. I appreciate them. If I don't respond, please do not take it personally. It's just there's a lot. Hi, Unseen Thinkers. Hi, Dolly Bear. Hi, Dolly. Hi, True Crime Crazy.
True Crime Crazy. Rainbow
I
Mom.
finally caught one of the lives. Hi, Forget Me Not. Hi,
What's happening?
Oh, Glenjamin, you're Unseen Thinkers now. Ooh, I like it. Hi, Thistle. Thank you for your message. Hi, Petunia. Hi, Lori.
Hey, Amelia. Why is it
Okay,
me?
so I'm going to have to remember that Glenjamin is now Unseen Thinkers. That's going to throw me.
Thinkers. We'll remember.
Yep. Hi, Rich. Did I say hi to Lori? Hi, Lori. I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't even know anymore.
Emily. Hey, Mallory.
I feel like it's been like an eternity since I've been here.
I know, because
So
it has been.
it has been an eternity. Like so much has happened, yet nothing has happened. It's like, I don't know.
True crime wise, not too much, I don't think.
Right. Oh, thank you, Mallory.
We love you, Malzy.
Hi, Savvy's Aunt. Hi, Purple People Eater. Thank you, Rainbow Mom.
Hey, Lucia. Am I saying that right?
Jane Doe. Clinton, I didn't know you were doing a channel. All right, well, I'm going to go over there and subscribe. So hold on.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Let me pull it up.
Jane Doe, we miss you.
Do you guys see the floating hearts? I don't see anything. I don't see anything on StreamYard. It's way too new for YouTube. The StreamYard, there's no way StreamYard's caught up with that.
What are we missing?
Hi, Ellie. So have you even watched YouTube lately? I just learned this like 2 days ago. So on YouTube now, they like redid it where like the live chat is now moved to the lower section, like where comments usually are.
Oh yeah.
And then there's like a little heart thing up on the top, like in the screen where you can click on it. It's almost like how it used to be like with Facebook Live. And then you can see it like expands and then you can see like a happy face or whatever, but there's no way StreamYard has done that.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
So we love all your hearts anyway. Ellie.
I'm going to pull up YouTube though, because I want to see if you can see them. So just an FYI, if some crazy noise starts in the background, I've downloaded a bunch of my audios to upload to the podcast. And what happens is I did a bunch of them, and so I didn't realize it was going to take so long. And now when it is finished downloading, it automatically starts. So if you guys start hearing like random intros in the background, I'm going to catch it as soon as it goes. I think I only have 2 or 3 left that need to go. But I was like, I can't wait any longer to start the live because I have no idea how long that's going to take. Hi, C-Dub.
C-Dub. Cool gamer.
So I got to figure out where the hell I'm even at. Oh, I'm over here. Okay.
Now that she says that, go check out our podcast as well. They'll be up tonight.
So the podcast is behind and it's really bad, but I was trying to do it so that I could get it caught up, and it's my fault. And But I have to, you can put the video up, but I think it should just be the audio. So then I have to like convert it to the audio. And if there's like a simpler way, I don't know. So I'm like converting it to the audio and then posting it to the podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's all new for me. Hi, Carol freaking Claus.
I love that. That's great.
That's funny. Okay,
Hey,
so let me
Emily.
see. I'm going to go over to
Hi,
this
Brad.
slide really quick. Did Britt come in? I missed her.
No Brittles yet.
Oh, who did you
Hybrid
say
came
hi?
in, though. Hybrid Pisces came in. My eyes are so bad.
Oh, Hybrid Pisces. Hi. I'll put the link in here too. Like I said, it's really behind. So I'm just trying to make it easier so that it's kind of, that it's out there and that the podcast is something I really want to work towards. I really like the podcast, the formatting of it and how it all flows. I like it. Plus, I don't know if you guys are aware, but like channels are getting just kind of demonetized for crazy reasons. And me, I say crazy shit. So who knows?
Happens. It comes out.
And I thought about like doing another channel. And then Christine's like, you really got to think about a Patreon. And I'm like, I'm not ready for all that responsibility right now. So I'll think about that later. But
We would have too much fun in Patreon.
Right.
We sure would.
We would have a lot of fun in a
We would
Patreon,
have
but time wise, I'm like, I don't know.
It's like
It's just-
TNI Unleashed.
That's literally what it would be too. It's like, hi ATS. I love Friday nights with all of you. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be back on the Friday night schedule. Because we don't have football now.
Yeah.
Rainbow Bomb says, my kitten is demanding attention. You've got to do what you got to do.
10 to the fur babies.
So right now I just like, you know what I'm going to do? I already have the podcast. I want to have it all set up. I want to have everything downloaded to it so that it's there. And I know a lot of people prefer podcasts. It's easier for them. So I'm like, you know what, if you want to listen, and all my pre-recorded stuff, I try, that's like one of the thing I was trying to be like very conscious about was telling the story in a way that you didn't have to see the video. And the video is just if people wanted to be able to look, but you would understand the story in its entirety without watching. That's so I purposely tried to tell the story that way.
I think that was a little bit of your holdup with Gannon, like the imaging and all that. You were nailing that left and right. I think it was you wanting to make sure that people could literally close their eyes and picture this story, and you make sure that you convey it that way, and you absolutely did. So.
Oh, thanks. So I've been working on a new one. I've been working on, because I haven't really, and I know this sounds kind of silly, but I haven't really been in the mindset to YouTube. And Christine's like, you're going to go live? Are you going to do anything? Hi, Tammy. And I was like, I'm not feeling it. Like I just was so like introverted at the moment. I was like, I'm not feeling it, but I didn't want my time to go to waste. So I have been working on another video for Alila Cabot. So hopefully I'll be finished with that soon, and then I can release that too. So he actually, Shannon DeMar Ryan is scheduled for trial August 18th, of course, because there's like 15,000 trials for August and September. Okay, so I still didn't even get to my channel to do what I wanted to do. So let's do this again and actually focus. Okay, so it's probably going to play because of the delay.
Hey, Tammy.
Okay,
ATS, we love you.
I do. I love my ATS. Where is Unseen Thinkers? Okay. Let me go to channel. Subscribe. And then let me grab the link.
C-Dub says there's a master doc on Reddit for all true crime podcasts. You must get added ASAP. It's the True Crime Podcast Bible.
Okay, so since I'm not a huge on the podcast side of things, they have not found Leela. Okay, let me answer the questions in chat before I get myself all messed up. They have not found Leela yet. They have searched, but they have not found her. And hi, Pookie Lou. Hi, Connor. And hi, Tiffany. So master doc on Reddit. So I have only ever done like case specific podcasts, like where the every podcast is about this, like the whole podcast is about the same case, and then every episode just kind of continues to tell the story. That's really all I listen to on podcasts. like, is this just random, like talking like how we do? Like, is that podcasting? You know what I mean? I know that sounds so dumb.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different forms of, I mean, but I get what you're saying. Is it more just strictly case
Like a
related,
case.
all facts, things like that, and just breaking that case open and getting your
Or do
episode
people just
out?
get on there and talk shit like we do?
Right. Versus, we
Because I
can
don't
talk
listen
you.
to they do. I don't listen to those people. So I'm like, maybe that podcast should be more for like the storytelling of a case. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I
Brian
agree, though. I
Kohberger is
love
gay. That's an account that's now in our chat. That's interesting.
Punksy.
I don't know if he's gay, but
Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
That's your name, so go with that, I guess.
Do you
Hi, Ava. And Tammy, her son seems to be doing really well. He is living with her sister, one of her sisters, and he's a cutie pie. So he seems to be doing really well.
Look what Tiffany says. That's Cherising.
It's true. It is. It really kind of is. Okay, so to see the no, there are 1 million hosted podcast episodic. Okay. All right. Well, so I'm doing it, and it's going up. The ones that have been up, which are like, I haven't updated. I'm ashamed to even say like it hasn't been updated in like a year. So it's kind of like I'm uploading like Kylie Rodney stuff right now. I'm like, this is really bad.
It's been a minute since the description was done. Christine's going to yell at both of us. Real soon.
No, that's it. That's all caught up. So that's
it is
totally
caught up.
That's all caught up. Yep.
Sorry, Christine.
Okay, some of the most popular true crime podcasts have a couple hosts talking about different cases every week. Okay, that's good to know. I feel better. Hi, Lucia. Leela, you probably would know when the story is they found her 2-year-old son wandering in a parking lot by himself, and nobody knew who he was. So all the original flyers went out trying to identify who this little boy was. He was found in only a t-shirt and a dirty diaper. No shoes, no pants, no nothing. In Florida. Most of the time when I say that, a lot of people kind of recognize the story. Yeah. So once they figured out who the little boy was, then they had to figure out how the heck did he get there and where was his mom. And they've never found his mom. It's because we came from here, so to diverge from home base, it needs to feel different. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Otherwise, I'm like, I'll just listen to you two.
Yeah. And welcome, Liz, if we didn't say hello.
Punksy.
Thanks for becoming a member, Liz.
Oh, thank you for becoming a member, Liz.
I see a little green dot somewhere.
Little green. Green. True Crime Garage, but they definitely are more structured than we are. Yes, that I do. I have listened to True Crime Garage, and I know they do different cases, but they're much more structured.
Yes.
And I don't know, like that's a lot of formatting to try to put into my life.
Not yet, guys.
I know. I'm like so just like willy nilly, like whatever. We're gonna do whatever we want to do.
Teresa's like, you coming up tonight? I'm like, thank God I took a nap. Let's go. I love her.
Oh man. Oh, C-Dub said it's not my birthday, but this feels like a birthday present.
This is why we love you so much, C-Dub, and our favorite podcast princess. She always directs us in the right way.
I know. I'm like, I need like something podcasty.
Good.
Hi,
Muffy.
He supposedly did. I'm very curious about how that's going to happen at trial, because there's a witness that basically says they saw him dispose of a large trash bag type item. At the time, they also saw him throwing away some clothes and baby toys. So. But you're going to have to listen. I can't tell you any more about the story. You're going to have to listen to it. But first, I got to find this link because I don't even know how to find it. My nose is like so itchy.
Oh, Muffy, we love you. Allie. Okay. Hey, Allie. We love you.
Okay, so this is Unseen Thinkers channel, which is Glenjamin. So I'm going to share that first.
Glenjamin, what are we going to do? Because we love your name so much. I love Glenjamin. Like that is such a cutie name. I love that.
I want it to be like Unseen Thinkers Glenjamin. Okay, so that's Glenjamin's channel. Holy sidetrack, Batman. I know I'm all over the place. You guys, it's been a little bit since I've done this. I'm like, I'm kind of out of it.
We get excited.
My flow is a mess. Like I'm all over the place.
Tiffany, you keep us on track, babe. Now, okay? Please. We're going to need it tonight.
Dude, he is so creepy and weird. Yes,
Yeah.
he is very creepy and weird, and he is he's a witch with apprentices. Shannon is, yeah.
He's a what?
He's a
Wench?
witch.
Oh, a witch.
He's a witch.
Oh, witch.
Or a wench, but he practices witchcraft.
Oh.
Yeah, he has like apprentices and things like that, and that's one of the things that they believe that Leela was going to do, was to be one of his apprentices.
Oh man. Oh, no.
But then his ex-girlfriends talk about how they actually wanted to break up with, or they broke up with him because he wanted to live in like a polygamist world.
Of course.
And yeah, it's very weird. He's very weird. There's like magic. People think that she was possibly sacrificed. It's a whole thing. Okay, you guys want the podcast now. So you want me to figure out how to share that? You got it. How do I share you podcast? Let's go home and see if I can do it from there.
Hey, J.E., how are you? Welcome.
Okay, so one of my downloads has a failed network error. Uh-oh. Let's copy the URL. Okay, so this is the podcast. Is that the podcast? I think. You guys click on that and tell me if it takes you to the podcast. Somebody?
I got you, baby. Yep. And there they go.
Does that take you to like signing into like my back end podcast? I can't see that.
No. It's the actual Spotify. Because look, it's going to actually make me download it. It pops right up. True criminality, true crime chats.
Yeah.
Gives
And then
you all the
ironically,
options.
I must have been doing too much podcasting because I actually named this live a true crime chat. I did not do it on purpose, but I just must have. I am Jay. Okay, everybody says it does work. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where it is. I'm trying to get it up to date and trying to keep it up to date. And maybe do something special over on that side. That's
That would be cool.
I like this format. And then you can also like create videos and stuff on here.
Yep.
I haven't gotten that far into it, but I like it. Have I heard of Twitter Spaces? I have.
I like Twitter.
Do you?
do.
I'm so not Twittery, which is weird because as I've not been YouTubing, one of the places I actually have been hanging out is on Twitter. Hi, Salty C.
We literally have been doing the same thing. Very, very little YouTube. If I am, it's just been Idaho, but literally down the Twitter, just warpaths of just everything. And I've been catching more spaces than I have lives, to be honest.
Oh, really?
I really, really enjoy a good space. I really
Okay, so who has the best Twitter Spaces? I've been to a couple. I typically listen to Sleuthies.
Yeah.
Sleuthy Goosies. I typically listen to hers, and I like Nerdy Addict. He does really good spaces.
He does too. I like Rose too. When Rose does hers, a lot of times she'll bring Sleuthy with her, so they like team up sometimes. And they're really good. Yeah. I like
Rose?
That. What'd you say, Tay?
Who's Rose?
Oh, Rose. I think it's like Rose Lulu, something like that. Hold on. And then I like Lily in London, I believe. She gives me like another side of Murdoch and things like that. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Hi, NorCal.
But I really like Rose. She's really cool.
Okay, I don't think I've ever been in a Rose one.
Okay, cool.
Listening at work, Glowbug. We won't tell.
Glowbug.
Call Her Daddy, which is not true crime, but does a podcast with video on Spotify if you want to see what's possible. Does podcast with video on Spotify. Okay, Call Her Daddy. And it's not true crime. I don't know. What are you getting me into here, C-Dub?
Row your boat, Tiffany says.
Mallory
That's
says like
Mallory.
902 or something.
That's exactly what it is. 901 Lulu.
Okay, I'll do Twitter Spaces with you. Pick the case. I'll do it with you.
Let's do it. I want to try to Twitter. Oh, cool, Allie. We would love. Oh, that would be awesome. It's actually a pretty easy setup because I attempted to do one and then I just didn't go through with it. But as far as setting it up, it's really easy.
The Twitter Spaces?
Yeah. Yep. People get into it too.
I haven't even fully committed to my TikTok yet.
Me neither.
like I branch out and I'm like, this is just so
Right back
scary.
in.
No, and I'm like, oh, YouTube. But I'm like, I gotta do it. I'm gonna make it happen. CHD is good, more on the pop culture side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll totally do a
Yeah,
spacer.
Allie, let's do it. Let's do it.
It's basically like being on here.
Mm-hmm.
I did go on. I normally just listen, but I actually went on Nerdy Addicts the other day because the Pascal show had gotten demonetized, and he was on there, and I was wanting to point him in Plunder's direction because remember when Plunder got demonetized, like out of nowhere. Yeah. So I hopped up there and I was like, this is kind of just like talking on YouTube without your camera.
That's it. It's great. I
was like, I kind of like it. But I don't, I think I have like 30 followers on Twitter. I don't think they're.
Nobody cares about us on Twitter.
Well, I don't really do much on
We
there.
don't put any effort in it though either. Like, I mean, my Twitter, I know I don't. I literally use it just to search cases and things like that anymore. That's all I use it for.
Oh man, this makes me feel special. I love you all so much. But you all together, man, go Tiffany. It's your birthday. We're going to party. Tiffany, is it actually your birthday?
Tiffany, when's your birthday?
We just party like it's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Mine was May 27th, so I'm hoping me and Tiffany are like birthday Gemini sisters somewhere. I need another twin.
I'm an asshole.
What?
I didn't even wish you a happy birthday.
Well, I was like gone for like 4 days straight. So I wasn't around. It's okay.
I wasn't around either, but I still feel like such an asshole. And I know that's your birthday, and I still fucked it.
Will you? Oh, get out of here. Stop it. It's Memorial Day weekend. This girl, look, she's 39, doing her thing. He went on the beach for a couple days, had no kids, then one day full of kids. Listen, she was a drunk mermaid for 4 days straight. It's fine. I love you to death.
I wasn't. I was a crying, sobbing mess, and I didn't even know what day it was anymore. And now I feel like a jerk, and I'm going to do something really grand to make it up to you.
No, you better not. I love you. I know everything that you were going through, and the last thing I was going to do was torture you. So I got drunk on my birthday. Sorry, guys. Got drunk on the beach. It's fine.
I should have got drunk on your birthday too.
I'm telling you, it's a good time.
Rich says it's my birthday weekend, champagne and cake for everyone. Ooh, what's my Twitter handle? I think it's just Teresa S at Criminality, something along those lines. Shit, yeah. I don't know. You ask me these questions and I don't know. I should probably like put all this in like the description, like or like in the in my about section. So maybe that's why they're like, you're not an ass. It was an exception. It was, and thank you. And I know Michelle will totally forgive me, but I now will absolutely do something to make it up to her because I am a giant jerk.
Teresa is such an amazing friend behind the scenes, believe it or not. She cares way more than she'll ever friggin' put out there. So no, she never has to worry about that. She'll always go, I'm telling you. Nope. My father took him 2 days to get a hold of me because I was out.
Because you were done?
I was out.
Yeah. So it's Teresa S at Criminality 187. Should I put that on there? Let me put. How do I link you? How do I link you me? I wonder if I can do this.
Just
Okay. And then one more, just for funsies, because it's the only other place that you'll find me right now is on
right now,
because I can't handle it.
Yeah. That's right, Thistle, and we don't count the 2 years of the vid neither. They don't count neither, babe. 187 like a thug. Oh, I love you, Melzy.
We'll have to get Brittany up here to sing happy birthday to you.
Oh,
okay, and then there's TikTok. I think that's it. That's where I'm kind of, that's this.
TikTok and Twitter. Yeah. That's it.
I went away. Did I go away for you guys? Because I
froze for like a split second. Now you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
187 like a thug. Yep. Okay, perfect. Well, I'll message you.
You two better knock it off.
I'm now following you everywhere. Okay, so that's TikTok, and then there's Twitter, and then that's the podcast, and then you guys are here for YouTube. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because last time I checked, I had 6,660, and so my numbers say 6.66, and I was like, somebody subscribe to the channel. So if you're not subbed to the channel, make sure you sub to the channel, because I don't like those numbers.
And hit all, so you actually get your notification. I've seen so much of that flying around. Like, I don't know, like YouTube They're setting us up for failure, guys. Just saying.
Right. Hi, Seth. Seth, I wanted to message you, but I haven't had a chance, and I saw what you did for my dad's stuff, and I wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, Seth. You're an amazing guy. Thank you.
C-Dub says, I don't want TikTok.
Yes,
I was
C-Dub,
going to talk a
Michael's
little bit about Morphew. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was telling you, I'm kind of off the TikTok wagon. I might even delete the app. I'm about to go down that whole thing. I don't know. I'm getting concerned, guys. I don't even want to go down that route, but I hear you, C-Dub.
Okay, hold on. Now Punksy needs a membership link. Shit. You guys are asking for a lot here. I don't know where to find half of this shit. Let me see. So bad. Okay. It's gonna be here somewhere. I think I have to go in here. I found it a long time ago, and then I saved it to my phone, and then when I got a new phone, my whole clipboard got erased. And I was like, what am I supposed to do now? How do I can't even function. I gotta go find all those links again that I had saved, and they're
all
just
the
gone.
saved links are gone. No.
Yeah, let me see. It's
Yes, Rich. Yes. They fight a lot. See them. We're making you an honest woman.
Yeah, holy crap. Okay, Michelle, you entertain, because I don't know where the hell this is.
I got you, babe. I got you. We need BR for our membership link. She's the only one who has it.
I think Delana has it and BR has it.
Oh, yeah. Delana has every link. She has literally every link everywhere. Rainbow Mom, you are not the only mom here. I can promise you that. I just went off mom mode for a couple days. Mine are a little older.
She's the only rainbow mom.
Huh?
She's the only rainbow mom.
Oh, the only rainbow mom. Oh, yeah. Yes, you are. Right? Yeah.
Okay, you guys are creators in here. Where the heck do I find this freaking link? Somebody point me in the right direction. Anybody?
And you're on your computer, right? So you should be.
I am. Yeah, I just don't remember where it is. It's like there's a thing that says like. Here, let me go to members and see if it's in there somewhere. Oh, Punksy, you got it.
Did you find it?
Punksy got it. Punksy's in.
Thank you, Allie. She got it.
Okay.
Mallory was going to get it too.
Okay, but now I'm still going to be irritated that I don't join here. Thanks, Mallory. An ugly shoe club mom, Midwest Meemaw. Please don't TikTok, y'all. Well, I'm not huge on TikTok. I'm a huge fan of like how Allie does her TikToks, but I just can't do it. So I literally just have like 3 or 4 videos up of little tiny things. Like they're just bits and pieces of the case that I just was like, oh, I have this in a short form. I'm gonna throw it on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
There's our TikTok. Allie does TikToks. Like Allie does true
she's like
TikToks. No joke. Like
she's like got the whole thing.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh God.
My daughter watches Allie. My daughter follows Allie. Like
Does she really?
Yes. My daughter like really likes Allie. She's like, Mom, she's so beautiful. And she's like, she gets all these cases. And she does.
Then she puts her face like on her thumbnails, and like she's got those gorgeous eyes, and I'm like, God damn it, I can't put my face on my thumbnail now because they'll compare it to hers.
Stop it.
And it's like, yeah, that'd be like my face on my thumbnail.
Allie's like, Tracy's like,
Allie's all, you're beautiful, and I'm like,
tell me you. I can't with her tonight. Oh. No, Allie, thank you.
I'm not a tech idiot by any means, but when it comes to other platforms, Twitter, TikTok, etc., these younger kids make me feel not up to speed. Yes, that is exactly what it is. It's just so new, and I'm like, okay, I've got to like study it, and I hate feeling like I can't do something. So it's like I've always been one of those people. Like if I can't do it really well, like I kind of just fall off on it, and I haven't studied it enough to do it at all. Whatever. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so I didn't really have like a specific case. Obviously, I've been preoccupied and Michelle's been drinking. So screenshot those faces, don't you care? Then you guys will probably put it on a thumbnail. But I haven't been digging into like a specific case, but I have been trying to like just kind of keep up on the cases that we already follow. So, kind of normal. So I just figured get back in the swing of things, come and just hang out with you guys. It doesn't have to be like super long, but I wanted to, just kind of catch up and say hi to everybody because I feel like it's been an eternity. Hang out with Michelle and we kind of just cover anything true crime that's happened or kind of gone on in the last couple of weeks. And the one case that I was probably digging the most on, which I wasn't even super digging, just a little bit, was like the Nikki Alcaraz case, Alcaraz Cunningham, and then they found her. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's good. I'm glad they found her, but that whole thing's a disaster.
Yeah. Oh, we missed you, Seth. We missed you all. ABG.
Hi, BG. Yeah, see, I knew you were going to put it on a thumbnail. C-Dub's over here just rogue modding. She's like, here, I'm just going to start deleting shit all over the place.
In her mod mode.
In her mod mode, she's like,
Uh-huh.
hi, JoJo.
JoJo.
We've missed being live.
Yeah.
So I know that we have a lot of like cases that we're going to be digging into, and there's a few kids cases that I know that Michelle's been working on getting the case files and stuff together before like the trials happen. And I meant to actually ask you, Michelle, did you get with the Cody Bigsby lady? I forwarded you her email because I didn't have time to respond to her. I don't know if you ever got it. We should talk about that.
Yeah, I think I emailed her back, but on my own, not through the channel thing.
Oh yeah, no.
I talked to her after that. I will definitely, though. Thank you for reminding me about that, because there's a bunch of Cody stuff actually going on with Corey.
Yeah, I know that we have the one for Harmony that's coming up. We're gonna do, how we do like the case file. Michelle puts together like the whole beautiful presentation and goes through all of it. So I know she's got one for Harmony. I figure she's gonna have one for Cody after talking with I can't even think of the name. It's like Cody Bigsby.
Cody Bigsby, father. Corey
but her channel name, her YouTube name is like Advocate. Not Advocate. It's
in the email, isn't it, at the bottom?
Yeah, my brain doesn't remember all those things. And then, thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey, peace, love, and life.
Hi, peace, love, and life.
Love that.
I was going to say it first.
I told you, I go from the bottom, you go from the top. You have to take back the good now. We forgot, we missed them. And then that's what happens. We miss everybody in the middle.
I know. And then everybody's like, well, nobody even said hi to me. And that person got said hi to like 5 times because Teresa and Michelle don't remember who they said hi to.
We're sorry, guys. Getting back into our flow. Literally.
So I kind of just figured we'd just go over there's just been so many like little odds and end things happening since I've been live and since we've been able to talk to you guys. One of them being Barry Morphew. If there is anything that we do talk about that you guys have not seen and you want to watch like the clip of or anything like that, let me know. I have no problem. I'll go through and play them. I do not have everything pulled up, but I can absolutely do that. But like for Morphew, Barry went on Good Morning America and did an interview with his 2 daughters. So would you guys like to watch that, or have you guys all seen it? Because that's what I'm like, I don't want to make you guys sit here and watch like things that you guys have seen like 50,000 times in the last couple of weeks. And I don't really know what anybody's covered because I wasn't around. Hi, Crime Curious.
Yeah, guys, shoot some things at us too. We're literally just getting back into our flow. Some cases that maybe stuck out to you or that you've seen covered over the last couple of weeks, that would be great. I think I've seen half of that. The one with the most current one, right?
Okay, well then I will play it.
And there she goes. Hey, Crime Curious, how are you? I'm alive behind you, babe. I have to catch up. Cool, Jesse. He's going to get it now.
Yep, that's why I said like I have no problem. I mean, I can find out the things like I am looking at, but you guys are welcome to bring stuff up too. Because like I said, I really have, kind of been all over the place the last couple of weeks, and I'm not caught up on every single thing. I try, like I said, I've tried, but All right. here, we're going to pull this up. So let's talk about if everybody knows the Barry Morphew, Suzanne Morphew case.
Adopt.
Oh, Hyper says, not much Morphew coverage, to be honest. I have seen it. Would be game to watch it with you guys, though. Okay, perfect. So I watch a lot of Morphew because there's a channel, and he's also big on Twitter. He goes by AK, and he has been a huge advocate for Suzanne and helping, to search and get justice for her. So I watch a lot over there. So I think that's probably why I feel like it's, probably well known. Okay. Pull it up for you guys. So Barry is also suing the district attorney in the county, and I don't even know exactly who he's suing at this point, but he's suing everybody for like $15 million because of them taking him to trial for the murder of his wife. And Suzanne's been missing now. Shoot, she went missing in 2020. She went missing in 2020. He was arrested almost a year to the date, 2021. Right? Is that right?
That'll always be one of the most conflicted cases from the heart for me. And I mean,
no, man, I feel like that dude's guiltier than sin.
Same. Oh, no doubt. I no doubt believe that he's guilty. It's watching the dynamic and then thinking of Suzanne, because it almost feels like, and don't come for me on this one, it's just a feeling. It almost feels like, and I understand that their mom's not here, so dad's who's what's left, and you want to protect him. It just felt so, against their mom. Like, I don't know. I see Suzanne as that victim. I see Suzanne as that tiny, petite thing. Not saying she did everything innocently, by no means, but imagine being with that man for that amount of time, and that's your family dynamic. And it's almost like it feels like them against her now. And she is just, his case coverage has just completely trumped the death of her, or the finding of her, or just her, of Suzanne. Like, it just, I don't know. I don't like the feeling.
I agree. So a quick synopsis is that Suzanne and Barry Morphew had been married for a long time. They were actually from Indiana. They'd moved out to Colorado, lived in a very nice, fancy home. And they had two daughters. One was away, or one was already in college. The other one kind of lived there and kind of lived at her boyfriend's house a little bit. It was kind of, And did Jen Lou pop in? I missed her if she did.
I don't think so.
So Macy and Mallory. And so on Mother's Day, it's such a long story, but I mean, I want to give you the quickest synopsis of it. On Mother's Day, the girls were camping, and Barry had left for a job in a little bit central Colorado. They live in Salida, Colorado. So he had drove up to this job that the job wasn't, he's a construction, wasn't actually supposed to start till Monday, and he drove up really early Sunday morning, which was Mother's Day. There's always some weird thoughts on why the kids were gone for Mother's Day, like why basically they left Suzanne alone on Mother's Day. She went for a bike ride and then never came back. And so when the girls were trying to get a hold of her, they couldn't. And they ended up calling in the missing person. They ended up finding her bike down like a hill, like a little ravine, and they found her helmet in a different direction. They tried to start, or Barry drove back, when he found out that she was missing, and he was like, I'd seen a mountain lion in the area, and maybe a mountain lion got her, basically. And ultimately what ends up happening is everybody believes that he's guilty. The evidence starts to point to him. They arrest him. A year later, some stuff happens with the preliminary hearing where the experts are ruled to not be able to be experts. And then they end up dropping the charges against him because they don't believe that they have enough evidence at that point now to convict him. So they drop the charges against him, and then he's like, see, I'm innocent. And it's like, nobody, the charges were dropped without prejudice. They can still retry you. And so he's suing the DA's office because he thinks the DA was corrupt and whatever else, and she did things wrong. And not that say that she didn't, but it is what it is. And so they went in front of the judge and basically said, the ground is frozen. We do believe we can find her. We do believe we know where she's located. And when the ground is not frozen, we're going to go search for her again. And there has been searches, but nobody's ever actually found her. And so he's never been retried. He did a talk, or not a talk, like it's not an interview because it's like a pre-recorded little, help me find my wife and I miss her, kind of plea to the public. That was one. He did another interview with him and his two daughters, which was also awkward. And then just a few weeks ago, he now has done another interview with his two daughters. A lot of people feel like the daughters have been groomed. A lot of people worry that the daughters are not safe. Now he's opened another business in Indiana. I believe there's another lawsuit happening there. It's just a big mess. Like, that's kind of the general idea of it. Suzanne has never been found. Her daughters both support the father. So we'll listen to this interview and then you guys can kind of see a little bit about it.
Welcome, Corinne. Thank you.
And hi, Shamita. Is there video of her riding her bike? No, not that day. But during the preliminary hearing, we found out that she had been having an affair with a man from Indiana that she'd gone to high school with. So then that became like a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Barry Morphew would sue himself if he knew he would benefit from it.
Yeah, right there. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, have a good night, Seth. Go have your bay loving
time. Go, Seth. I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
We love you, Seth.
Well, we might be here when you're done, so.
Possibly.
Let me see. Thank you, Corinne, for joining. All right, make sure you guys can hear this. If you can't hear it, let me know that you can't hear it. You can't hear it because it's muted.
Out with their father Barry for the first time
since
murder charges against him were dropped last month.
Perfect.
Amy is here with the in Colorado mom Suzanne Morphew. They are speaking out with their father Barry for the first time since murder charges against him were dropped last month. Amy is here with the exclusive interview. Good morning, Amy.
Hey, good morning, Michael. For more than a year, a Colorado man was accused by state prosecutors of killing his wife, who disappeared on Mother's Day back in 2020. But just days before he was scheduled to go on trial, Barry Morphew had the charges against him dismissed. And now he and his daughters are speaking out. And in the coming weeks, their attorney says they will request an investigation into how they say the district attorney mishandled this case.
Just remember, this is the old one.
Been silent for a long time, and we've decided that we finally want to break the silence.
This morning, just days before the second anniversary of her disappearance, the family of Suzanne Morphew is speaking out for the first time since the murder charges against her husband were dropped.
It's been an emotional roller coaster, but we feel like we can finally take our first steps in healing, which is a blessing. And yeah, we just know our dad better than anyone else. And we know he was not involved in our mom's disappearance.
Mallory and Macy Morphew standing by their father, who investigators believed was responsible for their mother's disappearance 2 years ago. The three seen walking out of court arm in arm just moments after the charges against him were dropped.
We want to heal. We feel like we haven't been able to heal these past 2 years.
The family says Suzanne left her Colorado home for a bike ride, but never returned.
I just love my girls. And I love my wife. And I just want her to be found.
But investigators told a different story, arresting Barry Morphew. The charges ranging from first-degree murder to tampering with physical evidence. Prosecutors argued that Morphew discovered his wife was having an affair, then murdered her, disposed of her body, and staged a bike crash in a rural area. Releasing this body camera footage from the hours after she was reported missing, police saying Morphew touched evidence.
Hey, could you not touch the bike with your hands, please?
Morphew's daughters say he isn't a killer and are celebrating the dismissal of the case, now demanding District Attorney Linda Stanley should do more.
I just hope that Linda will step up to the plate and do everything she can to find our mom, because what they've done is not fair. And we're never going to stop looking for our mom.
Court filings say that while authorities are close to discovering Suzanne's body, weather has complicated the efforts. The location where Suzanne's body is believed to be has 5 feet of snow concealing it. But the family's attorney says authorities have mishandled the case and are planning to file a complaint against the DA.
And if you want to honor Suzanne and you want to honor the daughters, go find Suzanne.
The DA's office telling ABC News they and law enforcement have been diligently searching for Suzanne Morphew since she was reported missing, and that they are continuing to do so.
Prosecutors need to be held responsible, and they need to pay for the damage they've caused to Barry, which is frankly nearly irreparable, because it's hard for anybody to believe that Barry is not who they claim he was.
Now, the family spoke out this weekend. It was Suzanne Morphew's birthday, and her daughters say, of course, they wished they were spending it with her. The charges against Barry Morphew were dismissed without prejudice, which means that if investigators do uncover new evidence, those charges can be filed again, Michael.
Okay, so timeline-wise, you have to think. So May of 2020, she goes on this quote-unquote bike ride and never comes home. May of 2021, he's arrested for her murder. By May, I think it's actually in April, by May of 2022 is this interview that we just watched. And I don't know why I thought they went on Good Morning America again, but they didn't. So the first one was Good Morning America. The second one was on ABC News. So I'm going to play that one for you guys. So this is the one that just happened.
Like, literally, our worst nightmare.
New at noon, Barry Morphew and his daughters are speaking out exclusively to ABC News.
That's right. 3 years later, we're hearing from the husband who was accused of killing his wife, Suzanne Morphew. He's opening up about the investigation into her disappearance and his new $15 million lawsuit. It's against prosecutors and law enforcement. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Helmuth.
And I'm Bryn Carmen. Good to see you.
Now, the Morphew family just spent their third Mother's Day in a row without Suzanne.
The Chaffee County mother vanished without a trace in 2020 and to this day has never been found. KRDO News Channel 13's Jessica Grunling reports on the demands for justice as the investigation to find Suzanne is now cold.
Barry Morphew had been charged with murder. That and other charges all dropped last year. Barry continues to maintain his innocence and says he was wrongfully charged in her death. Suzanne Morphew mysteriously vanished 3 years ago on Mother's Day. Her body has never been found, and authorities believe she's dead. It's officially been classified a cold case.
Very, very sad. Very confusing.
Just so traumatic. Like, literally, our worst nightmare.
Her husband, Barry Morphew, was initially charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence, but those charges were dropped before his trial. Barry tells ABC News his life has been ruined by false accusations, and his daughters say they never had a doubt their dad is innocent.
They're wrong. They've got tunnel vision, and they looked at one person, and they've got too much pride to say they're wrong and look somewhere else.
He's filing a $15 million civil lawsuit against prosecutors, the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, and several investigators. But Barry's case was dismissed without prejudice, meaning prosecutors can still file charges against him. Prosecutors.
Okay, so that's not the full interview. Let me see if this one is.
What's a Walt Disney World thrill feel like?
That's more like the news station just covering the fact that they had the interview. I'll wait for that ad to go away. And say hi to everybody that just came in. Let me see who is popping in. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Gushi. And hi, Bert. That's how I feel too.
Yeah. Ellie, I believe so. I do think that she'd most definitely talk to that guy about her marriage.
And on Mother's Day 3 years ago. Her husband Barry had been charged with murder, but he's now suing prosecutors after they dropped all charges last year. Now, Reshef has an exclusive interview with Morphew and his daughters. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you guys. Barry Morphew says his life is ruined. That $15 million civil suit accuses prosecutors and law enforcement of lying and withholding evidence, focusing only on Barry Morphew and humiliating him. But authorities tell us they didn't drop the charges because they thought Barry was innocent. They felt they didn't have enough evidence to convict without Suzanne's body.
This morning, demands for justice for Suzanne Morphew, 3 years after the Colorado mom mysteriously vanished on Mother's Day in 2020. Authorities believe she is dead, her body never found, now officially classified a cold case.
Somebody in this community needs to keep her name out there.
Suzanne's husband, Barry, initially charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence, but those charges dropped just before his trial. Now Barry and his daughters, Macy and Mallory, are speaking exclusively to ABC News, claiming his life has been ruined by false accusations.
What have these last 3 years been like for you?
Very, very sad. Very confusing.
Just so traumatic. Like literally our worst nightmare.
Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of your wife?
Absolutely not. It's very hurtful to lose your reputation and your integrity.
Barry filing a $15 million civil suit against prosecutors, the sheriff, and several investigators.
So I know that 15 million is a huge number, but I don't think that, in my mind, that covers any of the damage that's happened to Barry and the girls.
I know he's innocent. And if they would just look for Suzanne outside of where they hypothesize Barry could have possibly buried her remains, they could find her.
His daughters standing by him.
You never had a shred of doubt once you heard the evidence from law enforcement against your dad?
I've never had a shred of doubt.
Not one.
Prosecutors say at the time they believed that they were close to finding Suzanne's body and dropped those charges against Barry, hoping for additional evidence. Authorities tell ABC News they still believe Barry Morphew could be involved in his wife's disappearance and aren't ruling out future charges.
Law enforcement, the DAs, believe that they had their guy, and they believe that there's a mountain of evidence against you. There's just not Suzanne's body.
They're wrong. They've got tunnel vision, and they looked at one person, and they've got too much pride to say they're wrong and look somewhere else.
These charges were dropped without prejudice, which means if authorities feel like there's more evidence, they could charge you again. Do you live with fear of that?
Well, I was innocent the first time they arrested me, so I'm sure it's possible. But I don't have anything to worry about. I've done nothing wrong.
Was there any indication before she disappeared that something was amiss?
No.
Did you observe any fights, arguments, disagreements between your mom and your dad that concerned you before?
No.
Prosecutors offering texts which appear to show a strained marriage, Suzanne referring to Barry as Jekyll and Hyde, and just before she disappeared telling Barry, "I'm done." Suzanne confiding in a friend, "Macy and I had a very tough talk yesterday. She's weary of the tension here. She knows how he is toward me and almost begged me to divorce him. He's still pulling Mal in." But Barry and his daughters deny the marriage was in trouble.
We had a wonderful life, a wonderful marriage. She was just so loving and giving and such a good mother.
Before her disappearance, Suzanne fighting cancer.
And I know that she was going through chemotherapy for the last couple of years before her disappearance. And I know she was going through some hard things and made some bad decisions.
What kind of bad decisions?
She was really having trouble with the chemotherapy and the drugs.
Investigators also say she was involved with someone else.
When you found out that Suzanne was having an affair, what was your first thought?
My heart was broke. My heart was broken. I didn't believe it.
What's been the hardest part?
Just not having mom.
Not knowing.
It's really difficult, especially because of the lack of closure we have.
And Barry Morphew has moved out of Colorado because he says the public and media scrutiny has been too much on him and his daughters. The Chaffee County Sheriff's Office and DA Linda Stanley both saying they cannot comment on pending litigation or on ongoing investigations. Bottom line here, guys, Suzanne is still missing and no one has been held accountable. So
that interview bothered me so much. That's why I'm like, I needed you guys to see the parts that they weren't showing in that news clip, because when he talks about that how hard it is to have his integrity ripped away from him, he doesn't talk about like the hardest thing being, I don't have my wife, my girls don't have their mom. He talks about that his integrity is ripped away from him.
And the second he does is when that fake dramatic cry that he literally couldn't do. He attempted to do it, couldn't even do it.
That whole little trio always gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yes.
And I worry about those girls. I've always worried about those girls and their, not just their safety, but their mental health. Like, I don't know. Somebody did mention up above, and I think it might have been Hybrid, that the day that Suzanne, when the cops were doing the investigations, Macy told you guys she was kind of living, with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's family a little bit. The boyfriend said that he knew of DV in the household. And in Suzanne's messages with her friend and her sister, she does talk about that she had spoken to Macy because she was trying to wait till Macy turned 18 and graduated high school before she left. And she was struggling. They'd already had issues when they lived in Indiana. They moved to Colorado to get like a fresh start. And she basically said he just never changed. He still stayed the same. He said he was going to be different. It's not different. She's miserable. She hates it. And Macy, living at home part of the time, knew this. And this is most likely why she was staying at her boyfriend's all the time. And then during this interview, they're like, no, like the marriage was perfect. And it's like, you know the marriage wasn't perfect. So there's a reason you're saying that. And I always try to go with, are they staying close because they want to find the truth? And you can't find the truth if you alienate the person that you think it could be, right?
Very true.
So are they old enough, mature enough, intelligent enough to do that? Or are they really groomed into believing that he's innocent?
I definitely believe they're groomed at this point. No one else outside of these two girls lived that life. Even with Macy spending some of her time with her boyfriends and things like that, they've grown up around this man and their mother, and then the dynamic itself since they were babies. It's literally all they know. But when your mother hits a certain point and you hit a certain age as a young adult woman, and you and your mother are now having conversations about her relationship with your father, things that you have already seen, but now mom's kind of backing up and trying to explain to you. And I feel like Suzanne tried to do a lot of that. And that's the jacked up part, is the fact that Suzanne was trying to talk these girls through what was happening. And it just looked like he wanted them just on their side, no matter what type of manipulation needed to be done. So it felt like, for me, it feels like Suzanne was almost isolated in her own little world before that even happened. You know what I mean? Like just trying to defend herself and trying to put her case out there, because Barry's always been this. He's always had a strong arm on the family. It's all in his personality. You know what I mean? Like I think he always had a grip on his girls, Suzanne too. And once he realized Suzanne was doing her own thing and she was really going, and she was just waiting for their last child to go off and do her thing. Yeah. I don't ever believe this man was going to share her with anybody ever.
Yeah, he was not going to let her go.
No.
I think he found out that she was having an affair, and that was it. It was him or it was nobody.
Yeah.
So I have to let you guys know what I think about this, though. Have you guys ever seen the movie Harry and the Hendersons?
Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah, Harry and the Hendersons, like back in the day, and like the family is like out like hunting, and they hit a Sasquatch, and then they take the Sasquatch home because they think it's dead.
Yeah.
He lives in the house with them.
Yeah.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Yep. Okay. It was a good hit.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Now I do. Yep.
I'm going to pull up a picture of Harry.
Yes, Jesse.
Harry looks like Harry.
Yes. Yes. Ava loves Harry.
I got to show you guys this, because I think that he looks like Harry.
Oh, yeah, Sunset. I feel like the interviews right there show the actual dynamic itself. And then we just got to go backtrack to everything we've heard about, their marriage and the family dynamic.
Look.
He shows it.
Let's see if I can. It looks like Harry. Hold on, I got to go back to when he's sitting in the chair. Because oh shoot. They took the other one down, didn't they? Oh, here it is.
There it is.
You see him?
Yeah. The way the hair pops up too.
Here's the one that they're like close up to him. Right here.
It's the hair.
Doesn't he look like Harry from Harry?
All this, the hair's up in the front like that. Crazy.
And just like his the way that he even tries to like make like the sad eye and then the mouth just reminds me of Harry and the Hendersons. So I just needed to tell you that that's how I felt about him. When I see
I'm
him,
drawn to that mouth. See what he does with his mouth at the bottom, like you were just saying?
Yeah. It's an intentional sad face.
Yeah. It's like he's pushing his bottom lip out to almost elongate his face. I pay too much attention.
I mean, purposely does that sad look in his eyes.
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually have that, like, he's not sad. There's no tears. There's no sadness. He did that in the weird first little recorded interview that he did begging for her to come back. And I get the whole, like, he's innocent until proven guilty and his daughters have every right to believe him or want to believe him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, dude, this guy goes out of town the day that his wife goes missing when he's not supposed to be out of town. They have him on camera going to multiple dumpsters and dumping different items in multiple dumpsters, changing his shirt throughout all of this. I mean, Dad, what are you doing? Why would you go to multiple dumpsters? I just throw some trash away. Well, why didn't you throw it away at the work site? Like, come on. Like, it just, I don't know. Just even like the bare minimum, how do you not even have like a glimpse of like, something's wrong here?
And it's almost like the flip side of them saying, well, they've taken all their efforts and only have focused in on our father. Right. Same thing for you guys. When you think about it, it's been how long now? At a certain point, when do you start to possibly look at this man? I understand you love him. I understand that is your father, it's your family dynamic. I could never even imagine their position. But it's been this much. It's been 3 years. It has been 3 years. You have not seen your mother, and all this suspicious shit has landed around your father.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't question it even in the least, like a little bit, something. You live this dynamic your whole life. There's no way you're not. We know they have seen him put his hands on her. You know what I mean? Like, so why is this so far-fetched for them? Like, and they know, we know, or the public knows that marriage was not perfect. And for them to almost try and sell it back themselves now after 3 years.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Why not admit to it? And then
you already know.
He blames the cancer and you guys can disagree. I'm okay with it. But the way he says the chemotherapy and the drugs.
Right.
Like
she became a drug addict over it. Yes.
That's basically how he's implying it and wants the world to see, like, she was on drugs trying to deal with the cancer. Exactly. And not like the chemotherapy drugs. Right. He says chemotherapy and the drugs.
And the drugs. So, right. If they write her out other things outside of her, her going through radiation treatments and things like that, that is not her on drugs. Yeah, she's on medication because she has cancer. The light that you're trying to put her in is not even a Suzanne type of light. I mean, again, after watching all of this for the last 3 years, you develop a little bit about a person. And I don't see Suzanne as that type. But again, you're battling cancer. Like, how dare you?
She made bad decisions. She was making bad choices. And it's like, because she was going to leave you and she was in love with another man. Right. like, come on, Barry.
Right. She's sick. She has cancer. And she's dealing with you. And the dynamic of all of this and just trying to get her child, the last one out the door, to go do what they got to do. So maybe she can possibly take her life back. He did not want that. Not want that. Yes, Aaron, victimizing the victim all over again. Absolutely.
Guys, I'm just now hearing about this case, but I could ask questions until she was. Maybe I'm not understanding that comment. And I could questions until she was lying about it. I think I need a little bit more there.
Yeah, please.
But obviously she wasn't perfect. Do not get me wrong. Obviously,
no. Right.
Having an affair.
Right.
But here we go with I'm on chemotherapy and I'm a drug addict and now I'm having an affair versus I'm miserable in my marriage. I want out. I'm dealing with cancer and this guy's still an asshole to me. And I just want to be with somebody else. So. Oh, yeah. I saw it.
Very telling video.
Victimizing the victim all over again. Yeah. Well, I think they've tried to really put the narrative out that she ran away. That she was unhappy, so she ran away.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, that was at the beginning they really tried to do that. And then it was, or I should say the beginning was that she was eaten by a mountain lion or some type of attack. And then it was that maybe she just left and went to go do something else. Need to bring him back to the forefront like Summer Wells. Yeah.
Hey, Ray. Welcome.
Okay. So, baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I can't unsee Harry. I know. I've always thought Harry. That's just who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my thoughts on Barry. And I do think that this is one of the things that I have planned is I do want to make just one full video on every case that I've ever just been like infatuated with from the get-go and the details of and research. So I do plan on doing something with Suzanne. Once again, these are just like in my mind, this is what I want to do. And I want to put, what is that? I am blocked. Rumors, you're not blocked. I see you.
You're not blocked, baby. We see you. And welcome.
You want to be blocked?
And if you want. Exactly. Thanks, Ava.
So, so I want to do something with Suzanne because it's always been a case that's been.
And Suzanne is like, just, I don't know, that there's always been something super special about her as a woman. Like, you know, like we tend to like get attached to the kids and things like that. Like Suzanne as a person, I feel like I've kind of done that with. And like, I just see her, and again, no one's perfect, but I just see her in such a beautiful light that she does deserve to, like this, someone had just said it, like this case absolutely should stand. It should not go away in any way, shape, or form.
No,
you know?
not at all. I agree. All right, let me go back over here.
What up, Mr. Burgles? It is Friday, right? To make sure.
Freaking A. Go home.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Let's see. Give me 1 second.
I agree, Tiff. If she did, if she did supposedly run away, if she did, then yeah, she was hauling ass to get absolutely away from him. But the fact that she had already hung on for so long at this point, I think she genuinely wanted to see her last child through, and I don't think she was going to go anywhere until that point. You know, so if he would have waited a little bit, maybe. Yeah, complete control freak. Hey, Sammy. Electro. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I had to block that weird spam. I tried. She's I tried. I just ended up blocking it. Okay. They probably have like 50,000 accounts just to do this. Isn't that a fun life?
Oh. And it's the weekend. It's the start of the weekend. Could you imagine? Like, oh my goodness.
The weekend.
Just got things. Ew. Wow, is that watermelon cake and champagne?
That's just for your birthday weekend.
Man. Lots of things happen on my birthday weekend, apparently, with some. So, you know, May 27th is it's a big day. Yikes, what did I put? Mm-hmm.
Tell me how
How are you, love? I'm blocking Mr. Burgles. Okay. Yeah, Tiff, yeah. Carol freaking Claus. I don't care what name comes in this chat tonight. That will always be the best name in the world for me.
This is fun. That's how I like to spend my Friday night.
Yeah. Told you about those peeps. If I really explain it, you'll realize how much no one over there has a life. Do you realize alts have to be registered? Like they need time to like, I never knew any of these things. Like because you're creating so many like usernames or whatever, like it takes time to like process. Like, who wakes up every day to do that? Oh, okay. It's your birthday troll.
You got your own birthday troll. Oh, look at that.
I'm telling you, my birthday was for some reason May 27th and kick everything off for some. It's crazy. Daisy burnt my brain. Me and Teresa at times, though, guys, like I can't even, we sometimes have a little too much fun with this, so try not to play into it. Missy, what up, babe? Happy Friday, lovey. He said not a bot.
Hi, Missy.
Mallory, we sick you on anything, babe. You'll have it all figured out. We didn't even, Thanks. Good job.
I'm about to make him just a moderator. Maybe they can spam like,
here,
fucking links that I can't find. Like maybe they'll just do that for me.
I think they just want to hang out. Like, so hang out, guys. It's fine. We like you too. Erin be taking care of it, huh? I knew my boo come out somewhere. Don't have my boo and Mallory on anything because it's, that's it, baby. Summertime,
There's a lot of Mr. Burgles.
Yeah.
There's like 1,000 of them in the world.
I wonder how much communication had to happen to make all that happen. Like, that was like, we're all going to be Mr. Burgles tonight and just head on in. I love this so much. Tiffany says that's the problem.
It's like everybody, every time that person comments, have a shot. Oh, wait, no. You'd be totally wasted by the end.
Yeah. And we'd be like other people's. Yes, whack control, Corinne says.
Watch out, Rich! Duck and cover. Duck and cover.
It's happening.
Oh,
Miss, I feel you. That's I don't even get it. It's all right.
I know, isn't it funny? This is so true. Hold on, I gotta find that statement.
I've entertained children before.
I tried to click on the comment over on the actual YouTube.
Totally. If I can't even. Let me whack him, Corinne says. Let me whack him. I'm just one guy. We know. Little one. Just a Yale guy. Block me next.
Like, how much time do you have in your life to do that?
Wait, the crazy part is it actually looks like forget it. Hold on. I'll wait. Has Letitia gotten to her permanent home yet? I'm not sure, actually.
So I think that where she is, she will end up staying there. But she's in like where they do like the evaluations and then they figure out like where you're going to best fit and whatnot. But I do think that she's going to end up staying. There's Crime Curious still here because she would probably have a better idea than me. She's been more closely following where she's been and what's happening with it. Hi, Alibi. So I think she'll end up staying there. It's a women's correctional facility. So, and they do have, from my understanding, they do have mental health, which is what she claims that she needs, which, I mean, she is obviously nuts, just not legally insane. Okay, so the next one I wanted to talk about was Gabby Petito.
Ooh.
I got to pull up my Facebook real quick so I can grab my pictures.
Well, thanks, Unseen Thinkers. AKA our Glenjamin. Jeanette. Oh, we get the best people coming in.
Hi, Jeanette.
Yeah, she took us to the bar with her. Rainbow Mama sent me.
We're at the bar?
We might be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to go to the bar. I don't even drink. I should go to the bar, but I don't even drink.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't either. It takes me too long to recover afterwards. I think I can. I go in like, I got this, but I really don't. Mel has so many points on the board. She says, that girl James, hello.
I have so many pictures in here. Where the heck did I put it?
Yes, we love all of your guts back. Is that where we're at, Rainbow Mom? I get it.
I feel like my burn after reading letter is lost in the plethora of photos. Where in the world?
We have so much fun with you guys too. It wouldn't be nowhere near as fun without doing this. Right, Amelia? Like I don't know who I thought I was.
Dang it.
Yeah, that's right, Sammy. This one felt like a week. It looks like, Aaron, they'll be back, I'm sure. Hey, Alley Cat. Oh, that's cool, Rainbow Mom.
Okay, here, I'm just going to grab one from here.
I know, Cape Rays. Oh, that letter. T may have, as she was downloading everything under the sun before she got on here.
I was like, where did I put everything though?
Nate D, I love you. What are you doing?
Hi, Nate.
You beautiful soul, you. Oh, thank you, Rumor Spread. You're very welcome. Oh, it's Sherry. Welcome, babe. Inspector Gadget. Teresa's just going to organize her little her pictures
Life.
and whatnot over there in life.
I'm going to organize my life.
We'll play in the comments. That's it, Tiff. You get it. Hold it tight. Mallory sent letters on Messenger.
Yes, thank you very, very much.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mousy.
Okay, so you guys familiar with Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie? If you're not, let me know and I can give you a little synopsis. But there is a civil suit going on between Gabby Petito's parents and Brian Laundrie's parents, and Gabby Petito's parents are basically suing with the alleged accusation that Brian's parents knew what he had done to Gabby and lied for him and covered for him. One of the points of contention has been this letter that we've known about for a really long time, but we hadn't actually seen. We kind of knew a little bit about the contents of it only because of this trial. Oh, hi, Philly.
Say hey, babe. I'm going to torture everybody.
So it's now just the burn after reading letter to Brian from his mom. There's no date on the letter. So this is where a lot of this controversy comes in too, is she's trying to say and has been trying to say that she wrote this letter to him before Brian and Gabby left on their road trip. And now the Petitos are saying that no, they believe this letter was written to help him cover up what he did to Gabby. How they're going to go about proving that, I don't really know. It's going to be interesting to me. Did somebody Oprah?
Oh, it was our Boo thing. Love you, Boo. Thank you.
Oh,
Missy.
thank you. Thank you.
Love you, Miss.
Thanks, Missy. We have new members. Yay!
All the new members. You all look beautiful in green.
So now let's see if I have them organized at all. Of course not.
I agree, Sammy. I agree, babe.
Yeah, deliberately not dated.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll read it. In case you guys haven't read it, I'm just going to read it anyway. So we can go over some of the things that we think about what's being said in here, and then I'll tell you guys some of the things I think about what she's saying in here. So I want you to remember I will always love you, and I know you will always love me. You are my boy. Nothing can make me stop loving you. Nothing will or could ever divide us, no matter what we do, or where we go, or what we say. We will always love each other. If you're in jail, I will bake a cake with a file in it. If you need to dispose of a body, I will show up with a shovel and garbage bags. If you fly to the moon, I will be watching the skies for your re-entry. If you say you hate my guts, I'll get new guts. Remember that love is a verb and not a noun. It's not a thing. It's not words. It is actions. Watch people's actions to know if they love you, not their words. Therefore, I am certain that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor the ruling spirits, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers from above, nor powers from below, nothing in the entire creative world can separate our love. Neither hostile powers, nor messengers of heaven, nor monarchs of earth. Nothing has the power to separate us. Romans 8:38, the extended version, it's noted in there. Nothing could separate us, not hatred, not hunger, not homelessness, not threats, not even sin, not the thinkable or the unthinkable can get between us. Not time, not miles and miles and miles. Tiffany, I haven't seen it. I'll have to watch it. We're getting multiple Oprahs. Who's Oprahing now?
Yeah, because we don't get to see it on. We can see some greens, but it's crazy because if they don't say Oprah, we really don't know.
Nadie, thank you.
Nadie, we love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's very, very sweet of you guys. Turn this chat. I said this chat. Turn this chat green tonight.
I'll bake you a cake with a file in it.
And I'll show up with the shovels.
The fact, yeah, and the bags.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Brett. There you are. I need you to come up on panel to sing "Happy Birthday" to Michelle.
Oh God, Mike Brittles.
Can you make that happen? Can you come up even just for like 2 minutes? Can you come up and sing "Happy Birthday" to Michelle?
Brittles, I'm so weird. Don't.
I'll send you the link if you can.
I'm a very weird person. I'm gonna be like,
No. She's totally gonna do it.
Teresa has so much to get back at me for because I torture her soul on this stuff.
Burn before reading, not after. Well, it says burn after reading. That's what the thing says. Burn after reading. Should have been burned before, but. Oh, she's coming. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna send her the link real quick.
Oh God. She's so getting me back for her. Oh. All right, let me let the dog out first so he doesn't bark at Brittany.
Okay. Well, you got to give her a second to get up here anyway. Okay, I just sent you the link, Britt. I was thinking too, like, is she quoting like some weird thing, like, or weird things and putting them together? The letter in itself is extremely cringy. I totally agree. It's so bad. But I don't know if it's from before or after. I don't think there's I was going to say a dead giveaway, but that's really bad. But I don't think that there's something that just pops out and says, oh yes, this is totally it. So do you guys, consensus, give me a 1 if you guys think that she wrote this before Gabby passed away, or a number 2 if you think this was written about Gabby. Nadie, thank you. Thistle got 1.
Hi, Thistle.
Wait, hold on. Let me see. I can't tell.
Oh, thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Nadie. Then congrats to all of you guys who are getting them.
Yeah.
Nadie's making it rain. Making it rain up in here. Okay, so Tony's a 2, True Crime Crazy's a 2, Savvy Ant's a 2, Mallory's a 1, Sweet Melissa's a 2, Jane Doe's a 2, Angel's a 2, Sammy's a 2. Most people are a 2. Oh, Ellie's a 1. Madame Nixie's a 2. Hot Mess is a 2. Huh. What do you think, Michelle? Do you think, HTS, the question is a 1, do you think this was written before Gabby passed away? A 2 is, do you think this is written because of Gabby passing away. Hi, Karen.
For me, no doubt after Karen, love you. No doubt after Gabby. I think when he went home, she placed it. She wrote it after taking it all in, and she had to think about this. I'd like to think she thought about this somewhere. I don't know, but to pick that verse, to extend the version, it's so fitting, oddly. I just don't see that particular passage being chosen before Gabby. Now, if this would have been something different, I could absolutely go with that possibly she had this tucked aside because she was watching this relationship just maybe take over her son or whatever. But it's what she chose. It's the passage she chose. It's odd.
I do wonder if she wrote it before. She says they were fighting, which wouldn't actually surprise me that they were fighting. Yeah. I think that this family is odd. So that also doesn't surprise me that she writes something very odd. I saw that Plunder said something about the verse event, but I haven't actually seen what she said or listened to what she said. I told you guys I've been really kind of out of it. So I mean, fill me in on what it's a crime. Fill me in on what Plunder said. I'm totally here for it. I love both of those channels. So
Plunder's everything. It definitely could. It no doubt could have been written before Gabby. It's just why that particular verse, why that particular passage, like of all the it aligns too much with what happened to Gabby, you know what I mean, or what could have been done to bury Gabby and think. I don't know, it's just very odd. Too odd.
So he was reading a book called Lullaby. Was he reading the book when he left? Was it a book he was taking on a road trip with it? On the road trip? Was it something that he was reading when he got back?
That's what I thought.
I watched both of those since you guys are recommending both of those. I did see that both of them had a video about it, but like I said, I haven't really YouTubed, so I have not watched either one. But I'll watch both of them. I don't want to play their stuff though. So
we won't, Nathan. You get in the shower, babes. We'll get you.
Hi, Mr. O.
Welcome, Mr. O. How are you?
If she wrote this letter prior, very, very, very bad luck. Very, very bad timing.
Yeah.
Let me see. There's one more still.
Right, Jane Doe. Yeah, he had it with him. Well, he brought multiple books with him, supposedly to read on this trip. And that he would duck out from the trees and sit there and read his books, right?
Lullaby is not a happy book. Oh, we have a special guest. Hi, beautiful.
Love you, Brittles.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I never thought in a million years that you would go live after a day of us talking about you going live, but I'm glad you did.
I was working my toe back in. I just said I didn't have a case that I was like digging into, but so I'm like, you know what, we'll just cover all the cases.
Oh,
everything. And then we'll have you come up and sing happy birthday to Mia Moore Michelle because it was her birthday on May 27th. And she was away on a trip where there was some alcoholic beverages. And I was away on a trip where there was alcoholic beverages as well. I didn't get to consume any of them, but there were a lot there. So I missed her birthday as a terrible friend. And you are going to make it up to her by coming up here and singing happy birthday.
Please pay her no mind. And Brittles, I'm going to.
I feel horrible too. I'm sorry I missed your birthday.
No, Michelle kind of missed a lot of it too. It's okay.
There you go.
Oh, great.
I would have broke out in song on the channel. So, all right. Oh, let me clear my pipe.
You are so dead. I swear to God, you're so dead.
All right, here we go.
Make sure she can
get all in tune. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michelle. Happy birthday to you. We love you, we do. We love you, we do. We love you, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Oh, thank
Happy
you.
birthday. I gotta say, I hope that they spoil. I can't say the word because my kid's right here, but I hope that they spoiled the S out of you. whoever was with you that day. Happy
thank you,
birthday.
Brett.
We love you.
I love you, Britt. Thank you so much. I didn't even realize that like it was an actual like special birthday song. Like I was like, oh, that is so sweet. No, thank you. And Teresa, I'm gonna get your ass later. It's okay.
You look so pretty today too, by the way. Like you look pretty every day, but you look beautiful.
Thank you. I needed like a week to recover. So
Oh.
what made it back. But thank you. Honestly, thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna let y'all continue your thing. I'm going to talk and chat, but I'm so glad that y'all are alive and I love you guys.
Love you
Thank
too.
you, Britt. We love you.
I'll see you guys. I'll see you later, Britt.
Bye, Britt.
Aw, see, look at that. You got
Stop.
your own
These are gonna make me. I get weird.
special birthday song.
Oh, I didn't realize it was like an actual song. I'm like, oh, her little country accent because I love that too. Like, she's gonna sing Happy Birthday. She has a little spin on it.
It's the whole package.
Yeah. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you, and thank you, my Teresa.
And Britt, if you're listening, Rich's birthday is this weekend, so it's his birthday weekend. So you have to make sure that you sing something for Rich too. And everybody in chat saying happy birthday, happy belated birthday, singing you happy birthday songs, and playing instruments for you.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I see you, miss. I see you.
No, she has a whole ass routine. I scared my son with a cow mask. He said, "Mom, I need to cuss. Will I get in trouble?"
Oh.
I said, "What is it?" He said, "You scared the ass out of me."
That's a good one, though. That's actually a good one. You scared the ass out of me.
Oh,
that's
that's
one
funny.
proud mama. That's a good one.
Oh, that's funny. See, okay, she's got you, Rich. Needs to start charging for birthday songs.
Yeah. Brittany's gonna have a birthday club soon.
Well, I'm like one of her longest running members. I think that counts for something.
It does. It does.
And I always go in and blow up Mallory's spot. And I only do it when Mallory tries to like show off like how long she's been there. Then I drop how long I've been there just for Mal.
Teresa's like, you don't know where I came. I've been around.
I love those girls though. They're amazing.
They are the best. You guys are awesome.
So back to Miss Gabby Petito here, and the civil suit is supposed to be happening in August. I don't know if they're going to make it to August. But what I want to say about this letter, and if you guys didn't know this part, is that Roberta tried to get a restraining order and tried to have this like totally taken out of court. She didn't want anything to do with this letter. Didn't want anybody to see it. Had been fighting it for a very long time. And then when the judge ruled that the letter was in, their attorney dropped the letter. These are Roberta's pictures, or I mean, they're from Roberta. The letter either was sent to her attorney or the pictures are from her. Roberta's team is who dropped the pictures.
Oh my God.
After she fought for so long to have them not come out, I guess it was like we're going to take control. We're going to have control over the drop of when the information comes out. Like these will have control over that. So as soon as the judge ruled, they dropped the photos.
Oh, wow. Oh, I did not know that.
Isn't that nice? I'm like, wow. Quinny,
how are you? I knew she was fighting hard to make sure that this did not get out there, but I didn't know that it went down that way, that's how it actually came out.
Yeah, she dropped it.
Oh. That's it. Don't mess with God's book over there. Don't be grabbing those passages and throwing them and stuff like that. I don't like it.
So I'm curious to see if this actually ends up happening. Electro says it's 2:05 a.m. in the UK, and I'm a tipsy in bed, chilling, listening, and reading chat. That's the life. That's the life.
A good one. That's right, Inspector Gadget. She's an OG. That's right. ATS. She's one too. She's in here somewhere. Got some
ATS. She's an OG.
OG. Oh, Quinny,
so what do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think the Petitos are going to win? Yeah. The Petitos are one of my favorite families in every true crime. Them and Tristan Bailey's family. I love the Petitos. And I know that her mom's name's not Petito anymore, but they're still the Petitos because of Gabby. And that now all the parents are Petitos, and that's just how it is. Right. But I just love this family.
Yeah. They kept such a very, very high morale throughout not only Gabby's case, but so many other cases that had, came out after their child's, and they have been there for so many other parents in this terrible nightmare. Like they almost took like a lead in that way. And it was so, like to hear certain families say, yeah, I just spoke with Gabby Petito's father today, or her mother yesterday, and they're just sending us a ton of peace, or they want to stand, you know, they're attaching us to their organization. Like it's just so, they're just such good people. They really, really are.
We had another Oprah. Is it Nay? Did you do it again? Nay. Oh, I think so, because she gave a little winky wink.
Okay.
Nay, thank you, honey. Thank you.
We love you. Thank you.
It's not dated. I don't think they will win since no names are mentioned.
This is true.
I'm wondering if I agree with you about just the letter. I don't think the letter is going to have the impact in court that they think it might. Even though the letter is really strange, and I still think it's going to set a tone that this family was very, very odd, and that odd things were happening, and this was the way they communicated. I think that's going to set a tone already, but I don't know. I do not believe they're going to be able to prove the date of this letter.
No, they're not. They're not.
And then I also, if it was written after, do you think it's like to make him feel better? Like, because he was so depressed over what he did, do you think that's why she would have written him this letter?
I think knowing her son, she started to genuinely deep down inside, even after speaking to her husband and the whole thing, started to feel deep down that her son could have honestly possibly did this. And this is where I get pissed off. Instead of saying it that your son took this young girl's life, she saw it like, well, then hell no, it's not going to be my son next. And she knew her son was very low. She knew her son had a lot of probably different types of issues in here. And for some odd reason, she seemed very nervous for something that he ended up doing anyway. He ended up unaliving himself. I think that was the purpose of her letter, to let him know that you have support. We will help you figure this out. We know this is scaring the shit out of you. We can't believe it neither type of thing, but this is just where we are. Here's your support. You're good. Like in that sense, like I'm here to help you. I'll help you bury that body. No worlds will get in between us. Like, and
you think because he hadn't confessed about what he did? Missy makes a good point, because remember he flew home and Gabby stayed in the hotel by herself. Did she write this then? Like, hey, I know that you're going through all of this and you don't want to talk to me kind of thing, but I'm always here for you.
Yeah.
And then it ends up being so.
Or do you think maybe this letter encouraged him, or maybe made him feel a little bit more safer to do this, that he would have his family's support, or at least his mother's? Look what's being said.
In an abusive relationship. So, and they lived with them. Did they actually know that this was an abusive relationship?
I think so.
That's what I think needs to come out at this trial. I think it needs to be known what they really did and didn't know. And it also needs to be known if they did take money and put it into his account for him to be able to try to get away. Because that's still, I mean, there's still, you know, if they knew and they knew he was trying to get away, that's still illegal, whether he's dead or not.
Very illegal. When this case first happened, I almost like, okay, if this was my son, I would do anything to protect him. Excuse me. But then he killed this girl. There's no doubt about it. They probably experienced so much of that. It's almost like you cannot say that you did not even have an inkling that your child could possibly do this, because of how horrific this relationship was turning into, and because of how excuse me, depressed your son may have been. And even if it wasn't intentional, because you know parents are, they don't want to see it that way. Maybe Roberta recoursed it in her head to go, you know, he had to do this. She came at him, she kept hitting him, and whatever he did, he didn't mean it. You know, like, that's her baby in her eyes. You know, that's, I don't know. And that's where I'm a little pissed, because I feel like that was an attempt to save her son, even after he took a life or was about to take a life. Like, look, again, Gabby's life did not matter in that letter. That was all about Brian. And basically how she'll help him.
That's good points. And these are good points. Like, the Petitos just wanted the letter to be public. They wanted to read it themselves. They wanted to see it. They wanted to know.
I would.
It was this something where he was home and she was worried that because he was so depressed and that they thought he was gonna go on a live himself that it was to stop him from doing that. Yeah, Missy, no kidding. Don't be a Roberta.
Please don't. Yep. Torturing people on YouTube.
He wrote it when he came home after the fight with Gabby, when he said he went home something with the storage locker because he really didn't have to go home to take care of it. That trip was always very odd. It never made any sense. Well, I'm very curious to see what does come out. And either way, I think the Petitos, and I hate to say that they will win because they've already lost so much, but their character will always put them on a trajectory, in my opinion, that will heal them, and they will help. They are meant to help so many people.
Yes.
And they've taken the worst thing that ever happened to them and are doing that. So regardless of what happens with the lawsuit, I hope they get the answers that they want, and I know that they'll go on to continue to help.
Yeah. They're such a comforting source. It's like something that's just naturally inside of them that sadly their baby was taken, but they're going to go on and help so many others. And it's important, especially the families, for afterwards.
Right. Well, that doesn't mean they aren't responsible for what he did. I agree with that, but they are responsible if they aided and abetted him knowing what he did. And they become accessories after the fact if they are trying to make him leave or trying to help him leave. Either way, those are both illegal. And I think that's the thing. It's like everybody kind of wants it to stop because obviously Gabby's gone. Obviously now Brian is gone. But that doesn't make their illegal acts gone. And they're not gone. So if they did do those things, they should be legally held accountable.
Yes, thank you, Tay. Thank you.
And I think that the civil suit, and a lot of crimes do this, where the families will file civil suits to get some of the information out. Then that way they can actually, the cops can press charges. I don't have any issue with the fact that they didn't speak. Yeah. Besides, I thought it was, as a parent, knowing that this person you supposedly loved and your son loved was gone, how could you not be speaking? But I do understand that they did have their Fifth Amendment right. They had the right to keep quiet and not say anything, but they do not have the right to help him get away with murder. Right. Mr. Bertolino is a nightmare all on his own. I don't need that was probably one of the worst decisions they ever made, was to ever associate anything publicly with that guy. He is a disaster. Is BR here? I see that she came in and then she comes in, she goes.
Oh yeah, she's here now. She's here.
Okay. BR, are you in the garden? Are you gardening right now?
We had a whole garden party.
You had a whole garden party. You did. You did.
I should have brought BR in.
I know, huh? Look at me gardening.
Oh, my gardeners in there.
I would help my son get a lawyer and turn himself in. Yeah, and I said this when we talked about Aiden Fucci and his mom. And his mom ended up taking a plea deal, which was good on her part because the family didn't need to go through anymore either. And I don't know if she intentionally was trying to help him cover up a murder or if she was just trying to help him not get in trouble. Yeah. And I don't know if she really, and it really comes down to, and I said this on the live when we talked about Tristan Bailey's case. For my son, I would never have thought, and they're the same age, I would never have thought my son would have done something like that. So to go and clean up those jeans I wouldn't have stopped. I would have done it. The difference being is my son's history versus her son's history. Did she believe that it was possible he had done this and then went to clean up after him? That's a big deal to me because in my mind, I'm like, I would clean it up thinking my son would never do anything. I don't know what the heck this is, but he wouldn't do anything like that.
But think about it, Tay. It's 3 a.m. Your son coming in full of, he's got blood stains on him. And look what she does. She maybe this is just her way. I don't know. Maybe she's very OCD and everything has to be cleaned on the spot. But I would be chasing my kid up and around that house. Like, wait a second, tell me what happened first. I need to know how all this even happened to begin with. Where he comes in with blood on his jeans a lot. And that's very concerning too. I don't know.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is what's his history? What was his history really like? And I don't think that, Aiden's mom didn't clean the toy room. I'm surprised she was cleaning his clothes. Well, that's why I'm like, I think that he had gotten like in trouble, like there was something troubling that had happened, but not necessarily what ended up being what happened. Do you see what I'm saying? Like she thought he was covering for a much less smaller, and I hate to say that, but like smaller crime.
Yeah. Like maybe thinking her son got into a really bad fist fight, maybe messed the kid up really bad and didn't pay too much attention versus killing this girl, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. And so that's why I'm like, for me, I always kind of felt bad because I thought like I would probably do that. But my son is a completely different story. He's not a little terror like Aiden Fucci.
Right.
So for me to go do it is not the same thing. And I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad that she ended up pleading guilty.
Yeah.
And I think that the Laundries at this point should come clean and just say, hey, this is what we did, right, wrong, indifferent. We were all in shock. We were all in a disaster. And then this is, you know, this is what I did, or this is what we did, because we didn't really know what had happened. And he was not telling us, and he was withdrawn, and we were concerned about him, and we didn't know that anything really bad had happened. So we started helping him with these things to try to make him better. Whatever it is, at this point, it's like, just come clean. Don't wait for the judge to say, hey, you have to release this stuff, and then be like, look, we're going to take control of the situation. We're going to release the letter ourselves. That's just ridiculous to me.
Yep. And it looks very tacky on their part. It just does. It looks messy. It looks very messy.
She did know by then, Ava. She did know by then, because he was already taken into custody at that point. But she was cleaning the beans earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Where was her mindset at? And I don't think you can ever prove where it really was. And I think that she probably knew she had a bad seed and was concerned about what was going to happen. And then if it does happen, does she lose her other kids? But
that too. That was a concerned thought for her that I was trying to break down to. Was it more because she was worried about the other kid too, and maybe all that was hitting? I don't know. It's just with Aiden's past, like you said.
Yeah. And like Angel says, he was known to have knives. Would the mom have assumed it was something for like a fist fight? I don't even know if I think that. I think that, would she have assumed it was from a fight, even if it had to do with, the knife or not the knife? I just wonder, would she have thought did she think he was going to be 114 stab wounds in? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
I don't know if she really thought that, or if it was about a girl, or if it was like over a girl. I just always wondered that. It'd be an interesting conversation to have with her at some point, or for her to come forward and have like an interview that actually says those, what she actually thought was going on.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll finish up with Gabby.
Okay.
And then I have a few other ones on here. We'll do a quick update with Lori and Chad. I don't know, maybe it will be quick. So Chad has a trial date.
Mm-hmm.
April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2024.
Wow.
I knew he was going to get 2024. I knew his attorney had been pushing for next year for a very long time. So, yeah, so he has a trial date now for April 1st, 2024, and they will not release any of the evidence through FOIA on Lori Vallow's case, because most of it is going to be used in Chad's case. So after Chad's case is done, they'll probably release a lot. So FOIA requests for Lori's case are being denied because of the ongoing Chad case. And since it's all the same, that's what we're gonna be stuck with. It's a perfect date for that fool.
Mm-hmm.
So have you guys seen the jurors have come forward from Lori's case, and one of the jurors talked to Nate Eaton. And in this interview, he says a couple things that trigger the appeals process, or trigger some of the comments in the appeal documents from Lori's attorneys, who have now filed for her to have a new trial, because one, the jury seemed to be confused by the instructions. So that is an issue. And two, the juror talks in the interview about things that were not brought up in trial. Obviously, this interview is after the trial. And so then he goes on to do another interview with Nate Eaton saying, yeah, I did watch stuff after the trial. I was curious. So there are things that I know. Electro, yeah, they're going for the death penalty with Chad still.
Yeah. Oh.
So have you guys seen the juror interviews?
I didn't. I know I didn't.
Let me pull up.
The second one sounds pretty cool.
I think I have those documents too.
Right, BR. Exactly. The false prophet, right, Rich?
Give me just a minute and I'll find it.
Oh yeah, Jesse, we can only imagine what was in her head at that moment. It's just trying to just backtrack from Aiden's past, their past as a family, you know, like how their dynamic would work too. And I kind of see exactly what Teresa's saying. Like, I don't think that she saw it as such a gruesome, like, I don't think that was her initial thoughts. Her son just committed a gruesome crime. I think it was more of, you know, maybe Aiden got into another fight, or and maybe she does condone his bad behavior. Maybe she puts levels to it. I'm not sure, but she maneuvered that night in a way that just wasn't.
Okay, so give me a second. This is the original one. It's kind of long. I'll link it for you guys so you guys can watch it. But I'll just give you a little snippet of it so that you guys can know what we're talking about. And I didn't mark the timestamps, which I probably should have, so that I could tell you the parts that end up being an issue. Dun, dun, dun. And then I go to share the screen and I hit cancel. Freaking idiot. All right, let's try that again.
Screens, guys.
Too many screens. Too many screens. Okay. That girl James says, I'm behind, but I always thought that Barry looked like Harry.
She's there. You pop right in there.
Everybody's going to go, every time Barry comes up, they're going to be like, freaking Teresa. Now nobody can stop seeing Harry.
Yes. And C-Dub, I totally agree with you. Perfectly said.
Thank you, Aaron. I'm going to leave the wrench if you're okay with it. If you don't want it, then I'll take it back. But I'm fine with you having it.
He said, "Oh, if you don't want it, I'll take it back."
I'll take it back. I mean, but she's saying you can take the wrench now because she got it. She figured that all out.
Aaron, you're so honest with it, babe.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's up to you.
Blue looks good on you.
The blue looks good on you.
It does.
Mrs. O, are you talking about Aiden Fucci's mom? Did she get jail time? I think she got like 5 days. It's like 30 days. 30 days, 5 years probation.
Yeah.
Probation. Yeah, 30 days, 5 years probation.
Helpful. He was one of the last witnesses, I think the second to last witness or third.
I knew exactly.
And he was on the stand a whole day.
Yeah.
And he went through.
When they provide their defense, their testimony, their witnesses, their evidence, it'll answer those questions for me.
And those questions were never answered.
Never answered.
Tell me about viewing those autopsy photos.
Yeah, that was hard. That was hard, man. I think as a human being, you never really train for something like that. You don't expect to see that. And I had not realized that my kids are exactly the same age apart as Tylee and JJ. And it was painful to see that, because I have seen the relationship that my boys have. How my oldest embraces my little one, almost like a father figure sometimes. Takes care of
it all. My fear was I was going to run into you.
Yeah. At the end, you kind of put that together, and I couldn't see you guys rings, buying dresses prior
of the religious stuff and text messages where you thought this is complete nonsense, or as the defense called it, crap, weirdo, stupid. I mean, and were you able to process all of that?
I don't know that you can ever process that. I think you try. I think you try to reason, make the best of what you have, but definitely
I want
to comprehend it all and understand it all. How would you describe it?
I felt like there were a couple of them that did a great job.
Saw that happen.
Yeah. Those was interesting.
Can you describe the deliberation process for us?
Yeah. Once the case was turned over to us, the first thing we did is name a foreman, and we did a voting system, selection by voting, and the person that we selected did a phenomenal job.
Does anybody know where?
We were all clear as to the magnitude of the job that we had ahead of us and the importance of it. I think we all remained very professional, respectful to one another, because there were conversations that at times, not heated, but definitely a couple of us got excited about them. We selected the charges that we felt. I voiced my concern that I wanted to be clear-headed, rested, to take on the charges that we knew we were going to have to go through a lot more evidence, a lot more conversation, dialogue, and back and forth. So I and maybe another person made the suggestion to let's go home and come back.
Mm-hmm. You were caught up in the beginning on the murder charge for Tylee.
Again, one or two of our members were very clear that was a hard one for them. So again, did the same exercise with them, and at some point, we did it the right way. We didn't rush into this. And I've seen some bad things in my life. Alex got in there at 3 a.m. for Tylee, and then again at I think around the same time on September something for JJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have been even more solid stuff. What do you want to add?
I think so too, Karen.
Nothing. I think when you approach jury service, I think it's hard to be excited about it because who wants to spend their time sitting in a room?
You know what? I wonder
when you have other obligations, whether it's work.
I wonder if during the second interview, if Nate actually plays the clips, and I'm just sitting here wasting my time because I think he actually does when I watched it. Hold on, I'm gonna look for it. Crud.
Oh, hey, Delana. How are you, babe?
He may actually just play the clips. No, I don't want that. Let me find it. Here.
Of police video.
I was a little surprised on Friday when Lori Vallow Daybell's attorney filed a motion for a new trial, and they list a few reasons in the motion. One of them based on some of the things that we discussed at our interview earlier this month. In the motion, it says that the court, the judge, the instructions that you all got as jurors were confusing. Did you find that, Saul?
I personally did not. I thought the judge gave us instructions throughout the trial, throughout the process, multiple times, and those instructions never changed, in my opinion, even up to the very last day before the moment we were released to go and deliberate. So those instructions were clear. I forget how many pages there were, and we used that set of instructions a number of times throughout the process of deliberation to go back and forth and make sure that we were understanding exactly what the judge and the law and the court allowed us to consider and what things we were not allowed to consider.
And during the deliberation process, did you find that you or maybe your other potential other fellow jurors had questions about certain rules, or was it pretty easy to understand once the judge explained them and you had a written copy of them?
Yeah, since we had a written copy of them, it was easy for us to go back, reference, kind of refresh our mind or get clarity on what exactly the instructions were.
Okay. The part of the motion that concerned our interview was item number 3. Again, a juror interview revealed that the jury instructions were confusing and that he knew of evidence not submitted to the jury. And this came after our exchange I asked you your thoughts about how law enforcement handled the case. Having seen all the evidence, all the thousands of hours spent, how would you describe the efforts of law enforcement?
I think they did a good job with what they had. I don't know that you ever can really train for something like this. I think they did a good job with what they had. You question some things that happened, and I'm sure there's a reason for it. I'll probably never know, but you question, had some things been done different early on, would any of us be here?
Do you have an example of one of those things?
Well, and we didn't consider this during our deliberations because it was clear to us, the instructions were clear. Arizona, evidence and testimony is only for demonstrative purposes.
Sure. Yeah.
And we all were very, very respectful of the rules, the directions that we were given. But now being removed from that, I think the police department in Phoenix had some significant red flags that had they been followed up on, maybe we're not here.
Do you mean after Charles was shot?
Before and after.
Before, yeah, you're right. Before he was shot in that body cam. I was referring to body camera footage that was captured by the police when Charles went to them and said his wife, Lori, had gone crazy and was calling him Ned Schneider. Now, that stuff was not admitted in court. And so I sort of clarified that in the interview. How did you know about that video footage if it wasn't admitted in court?
Yeah. So what happened is once our verdict was final and we were released from court Friday, as you can imagine, any or most people would have a bunch of questions in their mind. We were not allowed to search the case, look up the case on the internet, social media, watch any videos or news about the case throughout the trial. So, once we were done and we all got to go home and we were released by the judge, on Sunday, my wife and I were watching TV and she said, "Hey, do you want to watch this? There's a new episode." And I said, "Cool, let's watch it." Obviously, I was intrigued. And that's when I learned that in Arizona, there's footage, video footage from an encounter with Charles, where he is clearly telling the police that his wife has, I believe, deemed him a zombie by the name, I think it was Ned. And to me, again, those were significant red flags about something that's not normal, that should be followed up on a little bit closer. So yeah, that was when I learned about that, and I'm sure a lot more. I can't really remember now, but that's when I watched the videos for the first time on Dateline NBC.
So what do you think of that? Do you think they could get an appeal based on the fact that this guy did an interview saying he knew stuff that wasn't brought into court?
No. I can't. You know what? I cannot say yes confidently. No, I can't. I'm uncomfortable by it.
One with the jury instructions, since they literally partook in the creation of the jury instructions, and they all had to basically agree on what they were doing. Why wasn't it admitted? Because of the dead man statute hearsay? Well, so they since this isn't the Arizona trial, we were actually pretty surprised about how much of the Arizona stuff came in, but it was brought in for demonstrative purposes, which was to show the jurors the timeline of how Lori had created these illusions of, being this queen, and her and Chad, running the 144,000 and so on and so forth. So it was only to do that. It wasn't to be able to say that she actually did anything to Charles. So he watched the documentary. Obviously, he says he watched it on Dateline, which is ironic too, because Nate was on that Dateline after the verdict. But I would have to go back and look at that Dateline and see exactly what footage was shown in there, because she's like, there's a new episode. Okay, so there's a new episode of Dateline. Yes, there was. They put it together. They had been working on it. Does anybody actually recall if the body cam of Charles is in that Dateline? Hi, MK.
MK, how are you? Now who's okay.
No, because that's literally Unseen Fingers. That is what the defense attorneys are saying. They're saying that he did probably see something that he shouldn't have seen while the trial was happening. But obviously the interview is after the trial.
Yeah. Oh. Personally, no, but could they make a big enough loophole out of this now? How I
don't know. Karen says it was.
It was.
Karen's pretty thorough, so I believe her.
Wow.
I don't know. I thought that was quite interesting, though. But this guy, he should not have talked about the Arizona stuff that he should have talked about anything that he saw post to trial. He should have only stuck to the stuff that he saw in the trial. But he's just he doesn't know. Right? He doesn't know that. He's like, I watched stuff after.
Could you imagine having to be part of this lunatic's trial all this time? There's no way you walk out of it just like, oh yeah, like completely like feral thinking there's just no way. There's no way. There's no way. It's like being a part of Letitia's trial. There's no way a juror did not walk away from that and literally need like a whole like vacation, a whole mental break, everything. Like, I know I wouldn't be in my right mind after all that.
So he said that he watched the interview during the trial. Which interview? Because part of it was shown in trial. Part of the Arizona stuff was shown in trial because they wanted to have, like I said, that was all demonstrative on how Lori got to where she was at the time of, JJ and Tylee and Tammy.
But you're not allowed to do this stuff during trial.
They showed that stuff during the trial. They showed it like in the trial, so the jurors did see it. Some of the Arizona stuff, and they had a lot of Arizona cops that came and testified to things that had happened in Arizona.
So do we actually know specifically what because he's saying he saw it on an interview, right? Like on TV. He's not saying that he saw it through court, right? Am I understanding him?
Do I go back and listen again?
Yeah. This is weird. Oh.
I think they did a good job with what they had. You question some things that happened, and I'm sure there's a reason for it. I'll probably never know, but you question, had some things been done different early on, would any of us be here?
Do you have an example of one of those things?
Well, and we didn't consider this during our deliberations because it was clear to us, the instructions were clear. Arizona, evidence and testimony is only for demonstrative purposes.
Sure. Yeah.
And we all were very, very respectful of the rules, the directions that we were given. But now being removed from that, I think the police department in Phoenix had some significant red flags that, had they been followed up on, maybe we're not here.
Do you mean after Charles was shot?
Before and after.
Before, yeah, you're right. Before he was shot in that body cam. I was referring to body camera footage that was captured by the police when Charles went to them and said his wife, Lori, had gone crazy and was calling him Ned Schneider. Now, that stuff was not admitted in court. And so I sort of clarified that in the interview. How did you know about that video footage if it wasn't admitted in court?
Yeah, so what happened is once our verdict was final and we were released from court Friday, as you can imagine, any or most people would have a bunch of questions in their mind. We were not allowed to search the case, look up the case on the internet, social media, watch any videos or news about the case throughout the trial. So, once we were done and we all got to go home and we were released by the judge, on Sunday, my wife and I were watching TV and she said, "Hey, do you want to watch this? There's a new episode." And I said, "Cool, let's watch it." Obviously, I was intrigued. And that's when I learned that in Arizona, there's footage, video footage from an encounter with Charles, where he is clearly telling the police that his wife has, I believe, deemed him a zombie by the name, I think it was Ned. And to me, again, those were significant red flags about something that's not normal, that should be followed up on a little bit closer. So yeah, that was when I learned about that, and I'm sure a lot more. I can't really remember now, but that's when I watched the videos for the first time on Dateline NBC.
So the reference in your interview to me, just
NBC. Dateline did that night, had their new episode. It just worked out time-wise. They had their new episode that night that came out. I just don't remember if it actually had the body cam in it.
Nate was like kind of excited about it because he kind of shortened his little insider court show that he does so that he could go over and watch it. I do remember. And he says it was the Sunday after the trial that he sat down with his wife and he saw it.
Right.
So it would be after the trial, right?
Well, according to what he's saying, but what they're saying is, did he actually know about this body cam stuff before? Well, the other thing is, and since I didn't timestamp that other interview, one of the things he says is that his wife did know about the case. He didn't know about the case. Like, he had seen, like, in passing, like, them on TV when his wife was watching, like, one of her true crime shows or whatever. Like, he knew the general idea of who she was, but no details about the case because he didn't watch that. And Yvette says too, it did have the body cam. So there you go. I mean, I think it's a stretch that they would be able to use it to get the appeal. But they did. If they could prove that he knew this information before deliberations, they could deem it a mistrial and get her a new trial and say, nope, we're tossing that verdict out. We're done. Now Nate does a good job kind of cleaning all of this up and saying, like, okay, hey, where did you actually see it? for the benefit of the public, because now everybody's like, crap, are they going to get a new trial over that? You know what I'm saying? Hi, Mrs. Troy. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Mrs. Troy.
Don't make me mention Scotty P's jurors.
Oh,
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
Good old Scotty.
So I think it's a stretch. I think that there's I think there's no way, in my opinion, that she's going to get a new trial, not based on those things. And the juror instructions, he specifically says he was not confused. He did understand them. I think what he's talking about is there was like a certain part when they were being explained that it got confusing for some of the jurors, because what he talks about in that first interview, and I'll link both of these in the description too, so you guys can watch the full thing if you haven't actually seen it yet, because he does talk a little bit about the juror that wanted more information and how he struggled with Tylee's. Another juror, I think, was struggling with Tammy's, and so like he talks about like the process that they went through and so on and so forth. I've watched lawyers I've watched said this is going to hold up, that this is going to hold up for a new trial.
Really
interesting. My personal opinion, and I'm not a lawyer, I don't know if it could.
Unless, like you said, they can prove that.
He was literally told that you can go and watch whatever you want, you can talk to whoever you want once you are released from your jury duty. And at the end, that it isn't. Okay. Did I read it wrong? It says, okay. Okay, no, it isn't. Hold on. Yeah, I don't think it would either. I agree with the lawyers that you've watched.
Yes.
So this is really what's kind of happening with Lori. We know that she now is facing more charges with Brandon. I think that the Melanies should end up being involved in that somehow, but who knows? And it's possible that the grand jury has already decided on those things and they haven't done anything about it, waiting for this stuff to take place. But the Melanies are not innocent, in my opinion.
No, they're not. Not at all, actually. Welcome, Carrie.
Carrie? I think you were already a member, though. Maybe you just rejoined.
Love your picture.
Sometimes I forget. The episode was released. It was released the day of the verdict, if I remember correctly.
Oh, mm-hmm. I only remember that because of Nate.
Right. So, and Karen said she's watching it in the background, so she'll be able to see too.
That's it, Karen.
If it does show up on there, because I watched it, but like I said, I've seen that footage so many times. I would never have been able to be a juror on this trial. Yeah. I've seen too much. I don't think they'll let me be a juror on any trial.
Yeah,
the crime channel, huh?
Nix that off your whole could possibly be in life. You'll never be a juror, ever, never, ever, never. Never, ever.
That sucks. I liked jury duty.
I kind of want to do it too now, but yeah.
You probably can't either.
I can't now. I'm with you now. Are you kidding?
Dang it.
Can't do anything.
Totally screwed ourselves.
We did.
That's okay. Maybe they'll let my husband on, and then he can tell us all about it.
We'll help.
And my husband's always tries to get out of jury duty. And I'm like, why do you want to, you've got to do it. Even if it's like a little tiny trial, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Such an experience. And somebody said up above in chat, like, jurors take their job very seriously. And I really credit the judges. The judges do such a good job of making the jurors understand how important they are.
Yes.
That I think it gives them the pride to be able to go back in there and take the job very seriously.
Yeah. It's very much that. And I think after they get their instructions and they're in their actual atmosphere, they really pick up that, wow, there's a life on the line here. There's a family or something over here that was extremely affected. Like they get the seriousness of all of it. And maybe before all of that, they don't, because they don't really get to see the families and things like that. They're not being directly, spoken to by the judge. Like, look at Judge Werner. He was amazing. He was so protective of those jurors. I wouldn't have had a problem doing another 2 weeks in that courtroom. And not even about Letitia, not even about it, just for him.
I like that judge. But he did a good job making them understand and feel how important they were. Yes. And he was so respectful to them. Yeah. And that was also, another trial I watched more recently was the Zechariah Anderson trial. If you guys didn't watch that trial, it was a fucking disaster. And And the jurors were kicked out of the court like every 5 minutes. It's like, nope, you go over here. Nope, you come back. Nope, go out. Nope, come back. Nope, go out. And for Stauch's trial, they didn't. They had to leave the one time when her brother had a little bit of an outburst. But other than that, it was a very smooth trial.
Very smooth.
Missy's, T, don't get me back on Zechariah Anderson. You know what, Missy? We should just cover it. We should just cover Zechariah Anderson's case because I think that guy was wrongly convicted. I really do.
Do you?
I really do.
Do you?
I don't think he did it.
Let's cover it. I want to cover this then.
Do you want to cover it?
Yeah, we should cover it. But we need Missy in on this one for sure. I
don't think he did it.
I don't know. I get like a bad vibe from him. I get like a scary vibe from him.
Do you really?
He looks like he can just switch very fast.
He doesn't look like he's like winner chicken dinner or anything, but he doesn't. I don't think he did it. And the way he says like, Judge, like I didn't do this. Like I've done things in my life, but I didn't do this.
He does.
I don't know.
Maybe coming off with Darrell Brooks too. That didn't help. Jumping right into him. That was like a little. Oof.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. You think that he probably did do it then?
Yeah.
All right, well, definitely we need to cover it. We need to cover it. All right, Missy, there you go. We're gonna have to cover Zechariah Anderson because
there was no evidence.
Okay, so Karen said the clip showing Charles talking to the cop is definitely in the Dateline at 19 minutes and 40 seconds. Perfect. Thank you, Karen. So there. I mean, I don't think that they're definitely that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. And Miss, you're so right. You have the craziest stuff in Wisconsin. Oh my God.
He really was such a good judge. And I thought Murdoch's judge was a good judge, Newman. And I don't know, Werner, besides his all the time.
It made him very authoritative though. That tone, that voice, it just set this automatic authority. I don't know. He was authority just by his voice. Like you took that man seriously because it was like, oh, his voice is gonna that's it. And then I also as the trial's going on, clearly they can't show anything, but as he's sitting there, you see him as a father, as a husband, because it's as Al's calls are being going over, you see him just you see him taking it in. He's got to close his eyes here. He has to take a breath over here, and still. Beyond fair to Letitia throughout that trial, thought of her in every which way possible. Her feelings, her everything, her head scratching, all of it. Awesome judge. Awesome judge.
So it was the same judge in Zechariah Anderson's that did the Kyle Rittenhouse case, which he got a lot of crap for. And so lawyers on YouTube that Your Two Mean watches say that they think Zach was wrongly convicted. I agree. I think that he was wrongly convicted. We could definitely cover it for people who don't know the case.
Yeah.
I do. I do. I think the guy's innocent, and I think he totally got railroaded.
Ain't there yet. Not yet. And it's sadly, I'm going off of nothing but literally the vibe that I get from him and something about his eyes. I see the switch in him. I don't know. And
all right, well, cover it, and then you guys are going to be able to you can tell us what you guys think, because I didn't see it the whole time I was watching that trial. I was like, this guy's going to be found guilty, and I don't think he did it.
I came in late though on it. In all fairness, I did come in late. I called that last week, I think, and totally got into it. Totally got into it.
So is anybody going to cover Taylor's business? Yes, and I actually should have put that on the thumbnail too, because there is an update in her case. Oh gosh. That was a retrial, wasn't it? Well, the first trial was a mistrial. So that it was deemed a mistrial during the trial. So technically was a retrial, but he'd never been the jury had never gone to deliberate yet. So there was technically his first trial. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It was a retrial.
So the guy, judge.
He was spying on his wife, or his kid's mom, and took the daughter. That's why I'm like, I don't think the dude's
Ashley's like, Michelle, you cannot convict people off of a vibe. I'm like, I know. That's why I can't be a juror either. It's just not good. And I'm normally the opposite. I'm normally like, here, there's just something I don't know. I get rid of that in his eyes.
Yeah, Ashley, I can't convict somebody on the vibe they give.
I promise I won't.
Well, Yvette, not everybody believes that. So it's going to be really up to what you guys interpret the situation as, because I thought that he should have got the stalking. That was probably right. But I just do not think that there was the evidence to say that he actually killed this man. And that man was huge. That was not a little dude that he supposedly killed. And the guy had other enemies.
Maybe he's
The daughter was so coached.
Yeah, that got me a little bit too. I was very confused, very confused by that at first. I had to watch that like twice, and I still don't know how I feel about that yet. I don't know.
Hey, Sniper.
Sniper.
ZA is Binger's boss, who was prosecutor Rittenhouse. That prosecution office plays dirty, in my opinion. First trial was declared a mistrial in state's opening. Second trial, prosecution misstated evidence. Yeah. The prosecutor was a flippin' disaster. The girl did a little bit better. I don't know her name, and I don't even know his name. But the white-haired what's that guy's name? The actor, the one that he's got the white hair. Leslie Nielsen? Is that his name?
Leslie Nielsen? Yeah, right? I don't know.
The guy from Police Academy.
Oh,
anyway, that's not the point. He looks like him, but he did. He talked about the things he did. He was just a disaster. That guy should have been thrown out of the flipping courtroom, in my opinion. But what do I know, right?
That's right. I thought he did.
We'll cover it. We'll cover the case. I'd be happy to cover the case. I have a lot of feelings about the case. So I didn't even know anything about that case until it just happened to be on, and I like to watch trials. So I turned on that trial and was just drawn into it because I just felt like, one, it was such a disaster. Gravely. That's right, Sniper. It was Gravely. Hi, Austin.
Austin. How are you?
Yeah. Leslie Nielsen. Yeah. See?
She used to come up with all these 90s people today. Like, she had the Harry freaking dude. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm living in the 90s, apparently.
Yeah, a Police Academy reference, right? How could I not know that? Oh, I would
drive her out and record it. Oh, Missy's all in. All right,
we have to do it.
Now we know.
She's why I started watching it.
I didn't know anything about it. I started watching the trial, and I was just drawn in. And then it was such a disaster that you couldn't look away. So I watched it, and then I don't think there was evidence. And but I would love to be able to present it to you guys so that you guys can tell me what you think. So we'll make that happen. Now about Taylor Schabusiness. This case, I will cover her case, but she is a flippin' nightmare. So Taylor Schabusiness is the one who was on some drugs, a little bit of meth, and was having some relations with her boyfriend, ended up unaliving him, dismembering him. I don't know if I'm allowed to say these words. I'm probably going to be, YouTube's going to be like, you're demonetized. But whatever.
Jen had to fix us the last time. Remember, we went into that word.
So her attorneys, she's charged with the killing, and she's charged with the dismembering, and she's charged with assault, essaying him after death. She cut off his wee-wee. So her attorneys have now decided that they're trying to fight the charge of the essay after he was. Yeah, I don't. That case is. That's just horrible. Doesn't even begin to cover. Yes, it's really bad. It's a really bad one. So yeah, so she cut. So her attorneys are trying to. She was actually supposed to be going to trial. Well, she attacked her public defender, so they had to get her a new public defender.
I'm trying so hard not
They
to.
had to get her well, yeah, they had to get her a new public defender. Now the new public defenders are trying to get rid of the essay after death, saying that didn't happen, but they're not trying to get rid of the other stuff. Yeah. Now this is another one, like massively on drugs. It is Baba and Arius on crack or meth. As she was on. So totally, it's a whew. I don't even know how you can cover that on YouTube. Maybe that'll be like the first live I do on the actual podcast or a Patreon because there's so many words in
That's
that
the Patreon case. Take her do it.
Very tasty wee wee. I know. I'm like, it's a wee wee. I don't know. I feel so bad for like this guy and this family. And she took parts with her. And she obviously was just totally out of her freaking mind. She took some of the parts with her in the car. She left other parts there. She tried to pack up.
Wait a second. She took it. Wait, hold on.
She took some parts with her.
Oh Lord, what do you mean? Where did she take it? Where did
She
they
put
go?
them in the car. And then she used a crock pot box and put parts in there. And then his mom, oh God, his poor mom. His mom found him.
Oh my goodness. Wow, she did a lot with him. Holy. Whew. Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's definitely psychotic. There's I don't know if her drugs were laced with something or what, because it was bad. It's really bad when I can't even tell you it. Like when I'm like having to try to cover what I'm saying because it's so bad.
You make me laugh so hard when you try to do it, though. That is like the funniest part to me because you're catching yourself and you're laughing. So I'm like, oh man, she's gonna make me laugh at this whole part, and I probably shouldn't.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't in a bucket. It was in the crock pot box.
Wow.
And that's what his mom found.
His mother found it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds very crazy. I think it'd be a good one to cover.
That's one of those that we always say, mind just your business.
Yes.
She's Taylor's business. So I will do my best to cover it. Where the heck I'll be allowed to cover it, I don't know. But that's the update on Shabusiness.
Shabusiness. Yeah. Hello.
Who else did I throw in the thumbnail?
I don't even know. Did we put
Oh, Valerie, we were just talking a little bit about Shabusiness. Michelle's now intrigued. Michelle's going to have a whole presentation about Taylor's business.
I want to know all the things she took with her. I'm putting that on.
Like Shad, it's like Shad Therion. It's kind of an off name and spelled a little off, so it's like one of those making sure you know how to pronounce it. Because I would love to cover the Menendez brothers, Jane Doe. And that's another case that it's near and dear to me too. I don't think they should be in jail. I don't.
My mother is with you, and my mother would
help.
Yeah, that would be a great case to cover. That would be a great case to cover. I'm in total agreement with you.
Shouldn't count because a corpse is no longer a human and can't be essayed. Not that it didn't happen. Pretty shoddy argument, in my opinion. Well, yeah, I mean, because the intent is still there. And I mean, necrophilia is still a crime, as far as I know. In this state, it is anyway. I think it is in most states.
Hope so.
Mallory, do me a favor really quick. Google. Oh, you did. Okay, you do know it. Okay, they had updates on that. I thought you said you didn't know it. Nanya Shabusiness.
Shabusiness. Like.
Unseen thinker. Aren't they appealing now? Did I change the subject and don't know what I changed it to?
We've done that like 5 times tonight. It's okay. We both keep doing it.
I know. Unseen thinkers. Who the heck did I bring up? Oh, the Menendez brothers. I didn't bring it up. Jane Doe did. They've been trying to appeal forever, and now they have the boy from the band, the Menudo brothers, that is also saying that the father molested them. No, on Menendez. What should I Google? I was going to tell you to Google Taylor Shabusiness. If you don't know that case, you should Google Taylor Shabusiness.
Yeah.
Yes, there's new evidence, but I don't know if it's good. The thing is, they did it.
They did. They did do it. But there's a very important why behind it. A very important why behind it.
That I don't think should be discounted. I think these kids needed help. Yeah. And I don't think that they it's one of those, like a Gypsy Blanchard, like they didn't have any way out. And I know people think they did it for the money, which I'm sure that probably had something to do. They liked their lifestyle. But in my opinion, I still think that I still think that there was massive trauma induced that caused they would never have gotten there. They did it, but they lived a nightmare. Yeah.
And I
What
think
about
when,
one of the Menudo boys said that the Menendez dad also essayed him when he was younger. And Mallory, it might it'll bring up some really grotesque stuff, but you can handle it. Your forensic psychologist major degree. Hold on. I'm trying to think of what else I put on there. Oh, Adam Montgomery and Harmony Montgomery.
his gun charge trial is happening now. What are you on, day 2? I think about to go on day 3.
Yeah, day 2.
If you're not familiar with Harmony's case, she was a little girl out of Manchester / Massachusetts. She originally was with her mother, Crystal, and then turned over to her father, Adam, through CPS. Another crazy long story that I promise we will cover. And then she had disappeared, another nobody type case. They had found little evidence coming up here and there, and then he has a wife, well, now ex-wife, right? And originally she was brought in. She lied. She, I guess, helped him cover up and whatnot. And then when the charges were about to be pushed down her throat, she then decided to, I guess, give up about the gun situation. So they have him now on these stolen gun charges. I'm sorry. This trial is not about Harmony, but we're just hoping to catch something in this that can maybe help with maybe what had happened to Harmony. Did I get any of that out right? Because the 2 days I've been like, oh.
So I wasn't even going to watch the weapons trial, but it is being streamed. And because I like trials, I was like, I'll do it. And then Michelle made a really good point because of the Harmony case. So in pre-trial motions, they made it very clear to not talk about the Harmony stuff in this trial. So I was like, we're not going to get too much. But then she made a good point to me about like, what about the tidbits of the other information that go into the timeline that we don't know? Maybe some of that might slip out in this. And I was like, all right, you're kind of smart and I'll go freaking listen to it. So I did it. So I have listened to the 2 days of testimony. It's tough because so Adam and Kayla were on massive amounts of drugs, and all the witnesses so far are, I mean, I'm proud of them. I think all of them at this point have said that they're in recovery.
Yep.
But their testimony is very hard to understand because they don't remember half the shit that actually happened.
Literally, they don't. And you could tell that they, I know no one wants to be there, but I think Adam did some threatening out there. You heard what the judge said on day 1, worrying about one juror being stopped, another witness being stopped outside the courtroom, asking them specifically in the courtroom about that. And he's known for being like that, just over the last couple of years of digging into him. That is his way.
So the trial for Harmony is set to begin in August. But I am listening to this one just because I do like the trial, but there could be some bits of information that come out. Ultimately, I don't know how this trial is going to end. His attorney seems to be making a lot of mistakes already, and it's only 2 days in. She doesn't have her times right. She doesn't have her dates right. I mean, when the recovering addicts are on the stand and they're telling her how wrong she is when they can't remember half the shit, it's like, you should probably have a little bit more, clear cut on what you're talking about and what you're asking about. So it's been kind of a mess so far.
Yeah.
Did he take the guns? Probably. Did he sell the guns? Probably. Trade them for heroin, I think is what they ended up doing. So,
I want to know his footsteps in this, though. That's kind of where, it's those testimonies. I want to know the streets he traveled on. And they semi bring that up. Like, they'll mention a cross street here and there, and then I can go back to Earth and go back to, where Kayla had jotted off to when she was released from jail and things like that. They know their neighborhoods, man. You know what I mean? And he made it a point to stretch it out from where he was to where Crystal was, to maybe even, at some point to put it on Crystal. And it just didn't work out that way. And I can't help but to believe that Harmony could be in between that,
all these kids.
Yeah.
All these kids were there. And it's like, What a disaster. The defense attorney has me yelling, Elaine. Okay, it's Sherry. I legit was just listening and I was like, is Elaine his attorney? I thought it was Elaine from freaking Amber Heard.
I looked at the heels with the little stockings. I went, oh my goodness, it may be Elaine.
It sounds like her. Have I seen the way that he looks at the witnesses? Oh yeah, especially the one this morning because they was right on Adam the whole time. Yeah, he's watching.
Yeah.
He's watching everything they say, everything they do. Hi, Logical One. Glad to see you guys live to the whole service. Anyway, I appreciate you so much. The service was very nicely done. The law enforcement was there and did a great job with the service. It was obviously terrible for me, but he would have been proud, and that made me very happy. So thank you for checking on me, and thank you for saying that.
I love him.
Yeah, I think that she is Elaine. I don't know. She doesn't get it. So I don't know if she's going to be able to help him at all in this whole thing.
You see, he keeps jotting down things and he's getting frustrated and he's trying to shove it to her. Like he's writing his little thing down and he's trying to give it to her and she's totally not paying attention. He caught, what was his name? Kim's husband, Chris. I guess he didn't like Chris's timeline and where I guess the chain of guns and how it really went. And he was jotting things down and shaking his head at the lawyer like, no. And she just was like, nope, I'm going to keep going with a random date that nobody knows what we're talking about. Like that June 9th date. We're just like, what is she talking about at this point?
Right.
Like, she's just pulling dates out there and then she sang it. Oh yeah, wait, I don't think that's the correct date. We'll fix that later.
But is she doing it on purpose? Because obviously everything that goes into the dates with this stuff, it is 2019. It all goes along with Harmony's case. So is there a purpose of screwing up so much? Because I just can't imagine that an attorney, I guess, I mean, they're human, but it's a lot of mistakes. It's a lot of mistakes. And I can't believe he's not going to be like, I need a different freaking attorney. Like she's a disaster.
Like is she going to represent him on Harmony's case as well? Because if that is the case, she's doing that no justice either. I mean, she's terrible. She's literally terrible. He's
losing his shit before it's over.
He's got a huge anger problem, that one, for sure. For sure. He's known for it.
But I don't know if he will. Because I think that he would be the kind that I think would take the stand and be like, no. Because they're trying to say, like, he did sell the guns, but he sold them for Kim.
Right.
He was doing all that on her behalf. Which I'm telling you right now, my husband's out of town. I have another dude staying at my house. Why isn't he home with his wife? When that whole testimony came out, I was like, there's something really off here. Like, this doesn't make a whole bunch of sense.
She did not want to make eye contact with him at all. I think they were doing a little something extra when hubby was out of town. And
I wouldn't be surprised because it makes no sense to me. And then the guy today, and I don't remember all their names. I really should have my notebook out for this because the dates are going to end up being important and I should be writing them down for later. So maybe I'll go back and do that. But where was it going?
You were talking about another witness, but I don't.
Oh, the witness today. He was talking about how Kim was like she was too good and she was easy to manipulate. And I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, Mrs. O, I don't know. I think it's possible that there was. Oh, what I was going to say is that guy talks about how Adam was at his house all the time and he'd only ever met Kayla once. Mm-hmm. And that was to bring her drugs because she was, what did he call it? Dope sick or something like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so he felt bad for people who were dope sick. So he was going to take her the drugs.
A kind person, huh? So kind.
Well, he says he gave Adam drugs to take to her and Adam did those drugs. And so he's like, I'll give you more, but we're gonna go over there together.
Yeah, that was odd by itself. But then Kim also says, like, she mentions that she knows Kayla, and she made it like they hung out a couple times. But Chris does not say that. Chris says exactly what you just said. That he only met her once.
Today said that.
What was the other guy's name?
I don't remember his name. The guy today, the second witness today, the one who had the house, Mike Sullivan.
Sullivan.
I don't remember. Is it Mike? Shoot.
Hold on. I wrote it down.
Okay, I should have wrote this shit down.
We're getting there, guys. No worries. We have a whole thing for Harmony prepared anyway, so we'll have all this. We'll make sure we get some of this gun trial charge in there too, to see where it could possibly fit in a timeline.
Yeah, I never felt that it was the most important part of it, but now that you brought up the fact that I should pay attention to the dates, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I should.
Dates and some streets and things, maybe. They make it a point to talk about how close the neighborhood was and how close they were to their neighborhood and how long they were friends and things like that. In that type of situation, I'm sorry, it ends up being very, very close to home, and that baby could be very, very close. Like, they have to find this kid. I never say this about him. They have to find this kid in some way, shape, or form. They have to find.
Well, I think that they found parts or substance or liquid or something along those lines.
Stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, and Tiffany, don't you worry about it. I appreciate your love, though. Don't you stress it.
You guys are awesome.
That was my soul. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see what does happen with the case. I don't know if it's going to be the end all be all to anything, but it might have some interesting info that leads to Harmony there. But they can't talk about her in this case, so
they get it in though every chance they get. I have to say, I've heard Harmony's name the last 2 days.
They do. When I was being questioned about the girl, things like that, they do keep trying to get it in there, but it's not. Yeah, and the judge is kind of on it.
Yeah. She's very specific about that. Very.
Have you watched the Shiny Apple People, the Duggar Family Secrets? Have you watched that? I have not watched that.
I watched the Duggars before, and now I'm seeing all this stuff that has come out. So I watch like little things here and there, but I couldn't tell you like up to date exactly what's happening. But yeah, it's.
Who watched the new documentary on the Natalia? I've followed that since that became like big like 3-4 years ago. So she's the little girl who was 6 and got adopted, and then she kind of turned out to be like a psychopath, and then the family started having her tested thinking that she was actually an adult, and so they were taking her to these different doctors and stuff. They ended up putting her in her own apartment and leaving her there, and so then they got charged with like child abandonment basically because she was supposedly a child, but they're saying that she's not a child, she's actually an adult with a disease.
Was there anything to prove that, or
I haven't watched the documentary yet, but I knew the stuff about the case already. So the adopted parents ended up getting a divorce, and but they said like they had like her bones tested, like the measurement of her bones and things like that. So she's very small. I don't know exactly what diagnosis is, so I don't want to say, but she's very small. So she looked very young, but they said when she came at 6, she had all of her adult teeth, and that was like a weird sign, because at 6 you don't have your adult teeth, and so but she never lost any baby teeth. So they think that she was like in her 20s and that she had fooled them into adopting her so that she could, I don't know, get taken care of. But they just dropped her off in her own apartment and said, like, go and figure it out yourself because you're an adult. You got to watch it. You got to watch it.
I'm going to watch that one.
I'm going to watch the new series that had just come out. I haven't seen it yet. I know a bunch of people watched it, but it's a very, very odd story. And the adopted parents were kind of odd themselves, and I've heard that the adopted dad is like pissed because the adopted mom divorced him, and so yeah. But I don't think it's ever still. Dr. Phil did an episode on it like a year, maybe 2 years ago as well, and she's adamant that she's a kid, but the doctors had said that she was an adult.
So there's actually doctors backing this up.
Oh, there's doctors backing both sides.
Oh. Well.
So let me see. I don't know what they actually called the new docuseries. Do you guys know the name of it?
Yeah, guys, let me know. She's gonna make me watch this now. Watch. That is so, and so there's doctors on both sides confirming this.
There was, like I said, I haven't watched this new one, but it's that's how it was before when it was kind of getting hit in the mainstream media before.
It's something to. They made a whole documentary out of it. There has to be something behind it. It's very strange.
And
Right, no
Natalia-
birth certificate.
Natalia Grace.
Right, logical.
But I don't know what the actual series.
The Curious Case of Natalia Grace.
Yeah, that sounds like it is. Yep, that sounds right.
I think that was. Oh, thank you, Relevant Truth. Right.
It is on. Is it Netflix or is it like Prime? Her newest parents claim that she lost a tooth with them. Really? Hi, Lolo.
Hey, Lolo. I think did we miss Jenny too? Hey, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. Sorry, I was trying to figure out the what channel it's on. Did somebody say it in chat so I don't have to keep looking?
Investigation Discovery take.
Oh, it is? Okay, and then I think TMZ was doing their own investigation thing, or was this the TMZ one? Oh, did they really? I'll go watch it.
Your panel, right? I love them.
I didn't know they did anything on it. I'll go watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very crazy, interesting case. I'm glad they did a documentary on it. I was always fascinated by it.
Yeah, that's so I can't believe I've never heard of that before.
So at the end, after you watch it, and anybody who has watched it or knows the story, do you guys think she's a kid or do you think she's an adult? They also claim she's never had a menstrual cycle with them. Oh. Because she would be, well, she should still be having a menstrual cycle by now.
Right. For sure by now.
Right? How old is she
now?
Supposedly now. I think she was only 6 when they adopted her.
Right. Mark O'Leary.
Here, I'm going to bring it up so you can see. You may recognize her when I put it up on screen.
The name now all of a sudden sounds familiar, but I don't know if that's just...
Okay, yeah, it's on ID. Okay. Hopefully I did sound.
You're gonna get the truth. I will pre-warn you. You might not like the truth. We were in a very tight-knit family. April 26th, 2010, that's the day that we adopted Natalia. We had no idea what we were dealing with. She's not 6.
She was an adult. You could just tell. I'm like, whoa. Natalia was told her new birthday at the orphanage in Ukraine.
She threatened to stab my sons.
I definitely didn't feel safe around Natalia.
You've adopted a kid and now they're trying to kill you. I mean, it's the stuff of a horror movie.
She tried to poison and kill my wife. One night, I opened my eyes and Natalia is standing at the foot of the bed with a knife in her hand.
She's tiny. These stories don't make sense.
You just don't know. True Barnett's.
The prosecutors went to Ukraine. Слышишь, тут приехали молодые люди насчет твоей Наташи. To track down Natalia's biological mother.
I'm charged with 2 counts of child neglect. Is that correct?
Maybe there's more than one villain in this story. Michael accuses Christine of beating Natalia.
My mom is definitely not 100% innocent.
Bye-bye.
You lied because she told you to lie.
Yes.
It's like a Rubik's Cube. Just when you think you have it solved, you find out you don't.
We were all abused! I hate this.
Did you want to hurt him? It's all going to come to light.
Be very good if you just quit talking. We're in deep, deep trouble.
Well, kicking down the stairs, we said we're not going to say, right? Oh, still my microphone on.
You got a seatbelt? Buckle up.
I told you have to watch it.
I'll be watching this after. Hello.
Yeah, it's a crazy story.
The features on her face, I mean, that alone. I don't know.
Oh, Lolo, I love you too. No, you did not make me feel awkward. I wasn't even paying attention to chat. I don't even think I knew that you said it. No. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know if this person is a child or if this person is an adult. I have no idea.
But because she does have some type of is that like dwarfism or something? Like she definitely has some.
They say that she has a medical condition, but I do not remember what they called it.
Because I will say her nose, her teeth, and like her chin structure are very much of a grown woman. And then when you put her next to her mother, it's almost to a T. But then everything else is still very 6-year-old like, in my opinion. Her skin, the way it's so soft, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, so it says if Titus has severe dwarfism or I'm going to totally mess this up. Spondylophyseal dysplasia congenita, which has left her crippled. Yeah, I don't know.
I have to look into this one.
And $20 if she's a whole ass adult. I don't know, man. It's so strange.
Ooh.
So strange.
Right. She was developed. Right.
We'll have to talk about it next time we go live after everybody here goes and watches it. You guys remind me that we're going to talk about Natalia and you guys tell me what you think if she's a child or not.
Right. And that whole punch and floor thing. Yeah, he exploded.
Well, that's why I said the adopted parents were not normal either. So it was like a whole, who do you believe? Because she kept saying she was a kid. They kept saying she was an adult.
That is so crazy. I've yet to see anything like this. Like,
yeah, you're going to have to watch it.
Yeah. In the horror movie, Austin says in the horror movie, she tries to seduce the dad. Are we? It's just getting stranger. It definitely is, Tiffany, for sure.
It really is. Oh man. Okay. So let me think. Who else did I want to bring up? Who else did I want to bring up tonight? What else was the big news?
Oh,
you want to talk about Kohberger? We could be here all night talking about that mess.
Lord have mercy. If you want to. If you want to.
I think I threw them on the thumbnail because they just did another document dump that I was reading through.
They did.
And they're looking for some more Snapchat info. But they'd already looked for Snapchat info, so they just expanded the date now.
Yeah.
They'd already looked for the Snapchat info for August 1st until November, I think the end of November. But anything about Kelly Brown? You know what? That's a great question. I don't know whatever happened with that.
Yeah, same.
So, Kohberger's hard to do right now because there's so much. Please don't say he's innocent. I don't think he is innocent. Once again, the whole disclaimer of, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But I don't think he's a patsy. I don't think he's being set up. I totally get it. Other people that might think that. I just don't.
I think at this point, and maybe it's because there just hasn't been much. And I think it'll force kind of people sometimes to go down the hole, especially if you're into this case. I was out of it, then got myself all the way back into it again. At minimum, in my opinion, he was a part, he did it. But maybe his role was just a little different. And maybe there was some others possibly involved, or there was a setup of some kind somewhere. Maybe this really was targeted. That's kind of where I am now. Nothing's a for sure, but it's just, you catch yourself, because I do it all the time. I catch myself in this like whirlwind circle of just, am I thinking too much about one thing? Am I digging too deep into that? Am I looking too hard into that? Or did I not from the beginning? Did I automatically just come out and just call him a freaking serial killer? And then I went off of everything law enforcement kind of put out there about him, in a sense. And now I'm just kind of backtracking a lot of that. And some things are coming up weird, should I say, but nothing enough to go, no, there's no way he did this, or yes, no, it's not. I still feel like it's still no doubt points to him. I just think that, and it's just a thought at this point, that he could possibly have had help, and that my why for me right now is more, was one of these girls targeted? Like back to that, like not being able to let that go, where originally I was like, no, maybe this really was random, he
like they just picked the house and that was it. Like the whole, it was the house target versus the person target.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a good question. I think there's a lot of people who are trying to tie like the drug stuff into the murder itself, and I don't see the tie personally. I just don't.
I think there are a lot of crazy coincidences around it. I don't know if the drug theory holds anything to do with the actual killings themselves.
Right.
Does it
So
get
even
you very
if like all the
curious?
drug stuff was true or not true, I just don't know if it has anything to lead to that. I don't think that there's like a whole. I don't think there's a whole team of people that were like, you know what, we're gonna do this and we're gonna set up this random ass dude in
No, I don't believe it.
Pullman. I just don't. And then figure out how to get his knife sheath and figure out how to get his car and his phone and turn it off at the right times. And
I'll always believe that bag's there.
I don't. So even if there was drugs or not drugs, and once again, like I said, I don't know. I don't know if there was. I just don't. If there was, I don't think it ties to it. That's my personal opinion. Right. I think that they're still digging. They're still digging for information. They're still digging to figure all the pieces out. I don't think they know it all, and I'd be very surprised if we have a trial in October.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't.
Hi, what's your sign? I just think it sucks that people that are probably completely unrelated are still getting their names dragged through the mud. Yeah. That's tough.
That's always tough in these type of cases. It's especially this one, it seems, because we're talking about young adults too, mainly. And then their families they're victims in this. There's no doubt about it. There's a community that suffered it. That's kind of where, like, I feel like sometimes I might even get stuck. Not so much that these kids were about drugs and things like that. It's just knowing a little bit more about the town, the kids, maybe how, the real lay of the land, because law enforcement didn't give us much of that, and you can't help when you have something so horrific like this, where 4 kids were killed that way. It's very hard to let go. Yeah, it's very hard.
I hope there's a trial in October. I really do. I hope that it's done and all the evidence gets to come out and people get to see it, and it kind of stops the train of speculation a little bit, and you can put the pieces together and kind of rebuild. I just would be very surprised if either side is ready in October. But it's possible. I mean, I guess that's if that's all they're doing. Hey, Lex Luthor.
Hey, Lex.
I don't know if the guy really had any friends. I think that he had people that he was friendly with, like in high school and stuff, but I don't think the guy had friends. I would be curious. All the people who keep coming forward all talk about how they knew him in high school or how they, knew him at a job, that he had kind of been at for a little bit. There's nobody who has come forward who said, hey, I still talk to this dude even after he moved to Washington. Yeah. So, like, where are those friends? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, why nobody that's friends with him currently has come out and said that he was friends with anybody?
Yeah. No. Mm-mm. And I did listen to an interview of one of the college kids, or what maybe was a former kid, but he still lives around there. And it was interesting to hear, how the timeline that we were given versus kind of what they were picking up or they were getting there, like just little things like that kind of sticks out to me. But that's kind of like the phase, like you said, of the investigation. There's not too much going on. So now there's this extra digging happening, and it's digging into everything now, literally. And
here, I'll play it for you guys. So yeah, Evil Exists won't care if I share their video. I like them. They like me, I think.
Actually, I'll drop their channel real fast too.
I'll put everything I use in the description probably tonight or tomorrow. I try to make it so that you guys can watch anything that we talk about.
Evil Exists is awesome because they get right to it. You know what I mean? Like their videos.
That's one of my favorites. Like I hate to call them a clip channel because I don't think they're a clip channel because they do a lot of true crime, but they make it so it is. It's not. They're like, here I am 3 hours later, and here we are. You know what I'm saying? But there's like, you want some information right away. Boom, there it is. That's what I like. Them and Beats on the Streets.
Yes. Yes.
You guys want to see it? So this is his. Evil Exists has his music video. Here we go. Okay, and make sure, Michelle, tell me if you can hear it.
Ryan Kohberger posted a rap song.
You're good.
It was found on his SoundCloud, and I'm about to play it for you. Take a listen and drop your thoughts down below.
There's no sound.
Always the same thing that disrupts my life. Wonder when I'll change. I guess when the time is right. Procrastinating minds arranged to change would be a fight. So I'm pacifist, like I'm afraid to get a bloody fist. Look at this, my mind is pissed, and I keep running. Why is this? When I hit it, always leave them stunning. Always gentle giant, no defiance, all build an alliance, and still think that I am peasant. I stuck in the future, but I'm never looking at the fucking present. Keep it up, act like you're all that. Here's a cookie too and a present. Led from a desert eagle, deagles going louder than my motherfucking beagle. And your life, you get no sequel. Leave your loved ones crying like some seagulls. You are not my equal, you are evil, but I'm feeble. And now I'm going regal. Don't fuck with us. Hope you learn your lesson. XR music.
So yeah, that's Brian's rap song. Well, close it off. So he's an interesting person. I do think that people will end up it shouldn't get struck for that music. I wouldn't think. It's not mainstream. I don't think there's anybody who's copywritten it to try to take it, but if they do, I'll just mute it out. It is what it is. But you guys at least got to hear it. The replay crew might not. It's really bad. Somebody asked, I think it was Delana, said, what are my thoughts on why it took so long for them to call 911? I will never understand that. I've always had major issues with that, and I've tried to go with giving Dylan and Bethany a huge benefit of the doubt, and only because the families have really given them the benefit of the doubt. I think if it was me, I would have a lot more issues with it. So do they know something that we don't know? And so I kind of just lean towards the family's cue with that. It does not make any sense to me. And Allie had a live yesterday where she was talking about the interview that the Gonsalveses gave to Chronicles of Olivia. It was a really good interview if you guys haven't seen it. And they talk about, the Gonsalveses talk about that her niece had told them earlier in the day, and it goes back like she says like 6 hours before cops came and told them. It says the cops came at 4:30. That puts them knowing at 10:30 in the morning. So even if she's a little off with that time, it's still prior to the cops being called at 11:58. That will never make sense to me. I do not get it. I have a lot of questions about what the heck they were doing, why they were doing it. And you're muted, honey.
I keep doing that. I think that makes people kind of want to dig into the other things because you just don't understand this timeline at all. Like at all. You're forced to go down little rabbit holes. You're forced to, because you just cannot make sense out of this, you know? And I gave them a ton of grace in the beginning. I really tried to wrap my head around it. I dove into the freeze, flight, fright, all that shit. Something is horribly wrong here. There's something really, really wrong here. And I think a lot of it was just to save face for the sake of admissions and things like that. But at the end of the day, these kids were savagely fucking murdered. You know what I mean? Like this is, I don't know, manufactured timelines, things like that. This is not it. This is not it. It can't be.
But I guess for me, I don't find a tie between what the girls did that morning to Brian and the killings.
I don't know. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't see that there's enough of, I think it's two separate things around the same situation. That's just my thought. And I think you're right though, that people they try to tie all this into the same thing. And I don't see it. That doesn't mean that it's not there. I mean, shit, I've been wrong once or twice.
I think having so many kids involved, now you have multiple families involved. There's so many different directions that sleuthers can go. And I think this case very much opens that up for, especially true crime people and sleuthers and things like that. If you like to research and you like to, get the ins on people and the whole victimology, should I say. This is that case. This is that type of case. But because there's multiple victims, because there's families, this damn gag order, there's things that are, it's creating a lot of I don't want to say extra digging, extra research. So now there's going to be more things talked about that's outside of just, I guess, the direct evidence. I don't know, because we don't get any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
not yet. And then we won't have, people have asked, like, you know, about an evidentiary hearing. Well, an evidentiary hearing, where most of the evidence we get comes from, is the preliminary hearing. And we will not have a preliminary hearing now that we have a grand jury indictment. So there may be other hearings where evidence is talked about, if there's certain pieces of evidence that they want out, that they want in, or that need to be tested, and it's going to be consumptive testing. You have to go in front of the judge to get that approved. So we may get to learn other things along the way with the motions of stuff, but the massive amount of evidence we still will not know until trial. And so this is going to happen until trial. And not that I think that anybody's theory is necessarily wrong. I think some are a little far-fetched, but I don't think anybody's theory is necessarily wrong. I just don't see the tie between the two.
Yeah. I mean, I keep looking for it still. Like, I can't lie about that. I'm definitely still like trying to figure that out. If there even is one, I don't know. It's just, you can't help what just does not feel right. That timeline doesn't feel right. Why they didn't call, it just does not feel right. And I'm not saying it has to even be anything that was just this, you know, maybe where some are bringing it, you know what I mean? But there's something there. Something that's really, really off here. And I don't want to dig into these girls, but there's just something really, really wrong. Really wrong.
I think that you also have, is the Gonsalves family in the same time zone as you? Yep. Or as you of I. Oh, I thought you meant as me. They're in the same time zone as me. They're Pacific time zone.
Yes.
Well, U of I is. I guess I should look and see if Coeur d'Alene is, but I believe it is. I believe they're all in the same time zone.
Oh, wait, you mean I'm sorry, you guys mean the Gonsalves family and the kids? Is that what they're talking about? Or
Yeah, like U of I in the same time zone as the Gonsalves family.
Oh, no, I actually think they might be off. Hold on.
They're the same.
Are they the same? Oh.
Yeah, because they're Pacific as well.
There you go.
And I'm Pacific, so I thought that's why I thought that she was saying, like, are they same time zone as you, like me? And I do believe that Boise might be different, though. Yeah, I'm just double checking.
Take your time.
But I'm almost from everything I remember, they were.
When you get a second, T, You're Too Mean is asking you.
Okay, hold on.
Hey, Lisa, how are you, babe? It's Boise that changes with daylight savings.
Yeah, let me see. My computer wants to go slow now. Moscow. Zone Pacific.
It's just that case, man. I don't know about you guys, but when this all like first originated, I was thrown off of my own, like literally, like I couldn't. It was so crazy. At points I couldn't sleep. You know, like just thinking about this. Like, I don't know. I have a daughter. She's getting ready to go off to college, and it's just. I can't even imagine.
Scary.
It's very scary. Like very, very scary. So many victims, so many families. It just.
Karen says she thinks that he'll take an Alford plea if the death penalty is taken off the table. If
Really?
he ever took a plea, that would be the only plea that he would be willing to take. But I think that he thinks he's smarter and he's going to get off.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. So Boise is Mountain Time, but Coeur d'Alene and Moscow, Idaho are both Pacific Time, which is the same as me.
Exactly, Lola. Something was off. Something was very, very off.
Is it material to convicting BK? Which part? The timeline? Like the missing time and them not calling. I think my biggest issue is it's two parts. If Dylan actually saw him at 4 a.m. and then still doesn't call the police and then wakes up doesn't check on anybody or checks on everybody right away, enough for other people to start getting phone calls around, let's say 9-ish is what we're kind of hearing from other family members or other families there, then that's twofold. So now we have her not calling at 4 and we have her not calling at 9, 10-ish, whatever that time is. You see what I'm saying? Why is there no call until almost noon? But like I said, I try to give them the grace because the families have given them grace. And somebody said above that Steve had mentioned at one point that, you know, calling wouldn't have saved the kids. But I get that. But calling would have sped up the investigation and what did they tamper with while they didn't call.
There's a lot of hours.
That is the crime scene. Exactly. It's going to be a really big deal. If they really messed up the crime scene, that makes it so evidence is going to be harder to prove things about Brian.
Yep.
So yes and no.
Really agree.
I agree. The vehicle is a rolling crime scene. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. And I'll still stick to my bag. I don't care. I cannot think if you do just solely go on what we all pretty much have, that he went in, he did this, and he comes out and he's got this thing bloodied and a mess. What could possibly be done with it? Like,
ooh, you're too mean. Your daughter is starting at WSU.
What happened?
Your too mean's daughter is starting at WSU in the fall.
Ooh.
You used to live in Pullman.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Tight. Make sure you have like a tracker on her phone.
Yes.
I know that's so bad. It's like know where she's at all the time. I just can't.
Seriously.
I'm so fortunate that my kids are still so. They're not. I mean, they're growing up very fast, but I'm not quite there yet, and so I'm just like trying to like keep every moment. It's scary. The lock Xana had her father changed was the lock to Kaylee's old bedroom because she was moving. Rumor has it the lock Xana had her dad changed. That's an interesting rumor because she was moving. So was Xana going to move into Kaylee's room, or was it because Kaylee was moving and they just wanted to change the lock?
That's kind of like a weird thing for me too. It's like in one breath, I can almost understand the way these girls moved. You know what I mean? Because we've all been there. We've been a teenager. We had a group of friends. And then there's some things that kind of don't make sense. But I don't know if that's a generational thing because I come from one generation, they come from another. And I'm just, that's been a big thing in this case too. Like trying not to overjudge or trying not to kind of judge at all. But it makes it hard when you're, trying to connect some of this or make sense out of it. You know what I mean? Like, because now you're just going into like their personal lives and who they were as people, and it's just trying to connect a lot of that too, because there is a disconnect in here somewhere for sure.
Yeah. And I think that finding that out's going to answer a lot of those types of questions.
Yeah, for sure.
And right now, somebody said earlier, like it's human nature. We want to fill in the blanks and we want to figure out the missing pieces. So they didn't know if the killer was coming back. My fear would be telling me get help, to call 911. Well, that's why so she says that she was afraid enough that she locks her door and goes back to bed after staring him down with the bushy eyebrows. So even if at that point she assumes, okay, this is just some guy who's in the house and doesn't look right, but I have all these roommates, who knows who he was here with. So I don't call 911. But now when I wake up and I can't get a hold of anybody and I can't find anybody, or I do find them and I find them in the condition that they're in, now I'm into self-preservation. But her instinct wasn't really self-preservation at 4 a.m. So.
Oh, logical. Thank you, honey. I thank you. That's an amazing app. The Noonlight app. Great for college kids. Hold your finger on the button, and when released, you have a second. So punch in the code, or they will send the police to your location.
Good to know.
Thank you, Logic. Thank you.
Good to know. We heard Xana's father himself speak out. The one and only time that he did say he changed the locks, or no, that came from Jana's mother. She said that. I've only ever heard that from the mom, from Xana's mom, who said she spoke with her ex-husband and he said he was there the week before and had changed the lock.
Yeah. We see you, Princess Megan Elsa. We see you.
It's Princess Megan Elsa. How do you go to bed with all of that? And it's the noises, the screaming, I just don't get. Well, if you're drunk or high, I mean, you go to bed. You don't care.
But then it's like she can hear Kaylee playing with the dog, but wasn't sure that she was hearing the other things, like confused that with partying, which in the beginning I could absolutely say, no doubt, it's a party house, right? But then she got specific. I was kind of hoping in between that in the beginning that something else was going to come out that made that all make sense, and it didn't. It just got worse. It got more confusing.
DM wouldn't call at 4 a.m. because she could, for all we know, thought that the tall, athletic-built man in black clad and mask with bushy eyebrows was one of her roomie's friends. I do think that, like, she was just like, eh. And if it's true, BF saw a naked man, allegedly, I think that still could be used as a defense somehow. But in my opinion, that could be the same person DM saw, just undressed, hence no blood trail. I don't know about BF seeing a naked man. I don't. I think this guy, we know the timeline. We know that he was in the home, for, what was it? I think it was 14 minutes, I think is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go back and look at my notes, but it was a very short amount of time. He's only there for 20 total, going in and out of the house. And I believe that, my opinion, my theory is that he was after Maddie. He went upstairs. There was Maddie. Kaylee heard the ruckus because Murphy was barking, goes over, he kills Maddie, or he kills Kaylee too. Yeah. He goes to leave. Xana's getting her Jack in the Box, can't leave a witness, so he goes and kills her. Now there's Ethan. They have to both go too. When he leaves, I don't think he ever saw Dylan.
I do believe, I think he never saw Dylan either. He went right past her.
He was ready to go.
Yeah. She caught him, but he didn't catch her.
Blood trail. I think they found the blood trail, and I think it leads up the back hill. Yep. And I think that's why they expanded the crime scene, like 2 or 3 days in.
Absolutely.
They expanded it up past the house and into that parking lot.
Yep.
I do believe Maddie was the target.
Yep. And maybe, because, they do count them as one almost. When you're going to target one, in a sense, you're probably going to get the other. In this particular situation, in this particular incident, these girls happen to be in 2 separate rooms, and but one got up and we think went to the other, and that's how that happened, and they were killed together. But I still can't, even though as much as I'm starting to shift towards, was this targeted in a bigger sense, and Maddie maybe got confused and all that. That's what I mean. I get into this, like, and this case does this to you. You start exploring all these different little ends of things with all the different peoples, then their families and all that stuff. And you're trying to connect something, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Yes, Ginny says she opened the door 3 times to check things out. Clearly she was suspicious something was happening. I don't know, drunk or not, I don't get it. I don't either, but I'm just saying, if you have an excuse, or if you have maybe an excuse for one, how do you have an excuse for both? It's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, if you didn't see him at 4 and then you don't call in the morning, then you have an excuse there. You see what I'm saying? Like that, you're just multiple. Yeah. How do I think he got in? I think he went in through the sliding glass door. I think he came down the back hill, and I think he went in the sliding glass door, and I think he left through the sliding glass door.
Yeah.
And I think he knew he was on a time crunch. He had to go quickly.
Yeah.
And then he didn't hear about it, and he didn't understand why he didn't hear about it, and he went back to find out what was going on.
For sure.
That's what I think. Sure. I'll never understand how he left the sheath behind, because I don't know what he did with the knife.
Yeah.
But somebody did bring up, like, he would be the type of person, like a Dexter, that covers the whole car in, like, plastic.
Could be.
So did he set it down, like, on the plastic? Like, what does he do with it?
Because I always thought that some type of plastic he used. He had something close to him that he could just wing that knife in. I don't know what it is, but something captured that knife and everything that was on it. And I don't know how that happened, but it would have to be just think, he's running out of the house. Where does he run into? The car. Mm-hmm. So if the knife's with him, now the knife is in the car.
Right. So like, where do you set it down? Like, that was always my thought process. Like, don't you realize at that moment you don't have the sheath? Like, it just never made any sense to me.
And then just, Right. It's a party house mostly for the main part. People are in and out. And it just so happens to be that these 10 minutes of complete isolation and complete vulnerability. I'm struggling with that now too, a little bit. I'm just like, that's an exact to know, but I also get he could have been staking the house and all of that. It's just, this case will send you any whirlwind.
I believe he'd been watching them from that parking area behind the house. Did Maddie say she felt like she was being watched at one point? I know that Maddie told the vape guy that Kaylee had a stalker, or according to the vape guy.
Or was it, did her mom say, or was it the vape guy? I can't remember, that she felt like she knew her stalker.
Yeah, but Steve says there wasn't one. That the girls did get a lot of attention, but to say that it was one person who was overly paying attention to them, he didn't say that.
Right.
So like that whole stalker thing went back and forth 15 different ways.
It totally did.
Yeah. So what ended up being true there? And then you got Mark Furman, who's like getting involved on another knife case. Like, stay out of the way, Mark Furman. If anybody was setting up Brian, it was probably him.
Right. It's Furman walking around his knife.
Yeah, he's all, let's just figure this out. The ring cam is very messed up audio. Well, the ring cam, are you talking about the ring cam from, they keep trying to say it's from the house that's right there with the stairs that go up, but then the girl said it was actually from her ring cam, that one?
Okay.
It was ring cam from a totally different place of a fight.
Yeah.
She put out trying to say that she put it out, I think, on TikTok and said,
it was Zen or Ethan
screaming. This is what a ring would pick up. It wasn't technically fake, but it wasn't from there.
How about the screen one?
Her own ring cam, trying to show what it would sound like if it did catch something on camera, because she had caught her neighbors fighting.
Oh, okay. Stay out the way, right? I was saying, stay out the way.
Yeah, stay away, Mark Furman. Get out of here. Ellie told us in the affidavit that those two girls were communicating through text to determine when it happened, so there's that. Well, they were supposedly texting each other, and then now we know that they're texting all kinds of other people in the morning, too. See, the only way I can make it make sense in my mind is that they were scared but worried to call police in case they were being paranoid and wanted to wait for someone to come over to check things out. In the morning, it would have been a mess. If they had actually gone and looked at, you mean like at the 4 a.m. one? I don't know. I'm curious. I don't have any answers for why these girls waited so long, and I don't have any answers for why they would have called a bunch of other people hours beforehand. I do get, like, we're scared and we need somebody else to come over, so here comes Hunter. And, he lives right there anyway. So he comes over to, protect the girls. I heard it on the one with the dog and the thud and the cry. Yeah, that one. That one is from TikTok. It's a girl who released her ring camera or her ring audio. It's from TikTok.
Yeah. Remember, I got all crazy about it. You're like, Michelle, I don't trust this, like, at all. And you were kind of right.
And then she thought that it was her own.
Yep.
Angels, people have talked about the smell. This has come up a few times too. Yeah. And my thought on the smell is that if you're in the smell and it starts to smell, you don't necessarily smell a difference. I'm going to say smell a lot right now, and it's going to start sounding weird. When you say the word over and over again. But it's when you walk into a smell that it's like, it's overpowering. But if the smell is gradually growing around you, it's almost like you know it.
Yeah. And I see, like, I struggle with all that too. I can't imagine, but again, I'm not them, so everybody's different. I just cannot imagine rolling over out of bed after what I think I just went to bed to, and now I'm waking up and I come out and I witness what I witness, and my phone dials Hunter or whoever. Like, I just can't, I can't wrap my head around that. I don't know. I understand running right out that house and screaming. That all makes sense. Running out the house, passing out from seeing something like that, that all makes sense to me. It's just, it's the hours in between that don't make sense. It's the initial wake up for the one that did not automatically pass out. Why was your first phone call to anybody but the police? You know what I mean? Like, I understand you need protection in that moment, so you want to get the guys across the street. You could run out the house and kind of scream and wave them down that way. You know what I mean? Like, look at the way that setup is. It's just, there's something, again, there's something wrong there with that too. And we all did in the beginning. We gave them tons of grace. We were very understanding. We literally try to take ourselves and we put ourselves in there, and we understand that we're not them. But it's just, no, there's something so wrong, and I don't know what to call it.
So the smell would hit you when you wake up because you can't really smell it when you're asleep. I don't know. In my mind, I just think that that's the smell would never, in my opinion, and I don't know, I've never been in anything like that, I don't think the smell would be that overpowering. It was captured by a cop who was on a call, actually, not a ring cam. Okay, wait. You're talking about the cops that were doing the drunk kids in the field? You're talking about that one? Let me see. I was getting ready to ask, wouldn't there be a strong smell because of all the blood and waste from the bodies releasing it? Not everybody releases, but a lot of bodies do. And I guess just my thought is, I don't know if the smell would have been overpowering. Not to mention the amount of garbage and food and
everything that was in there. Could you imagine if let's just even say they were smoking something in there? That's a very overpowering smell too. I still struggle with, yes. If this would have only been a few hours, like 1 or 2, then yeah, I could see maybe not smelling it. After all those hours, I'm struggling with that many bodies, with the exposure of how these gash type wounds were. Yeah, but I can also at the same time, if you like T said, if you've just been in there the entire time for those 8 hours, is your nose now just immune to it and you don't even realize? Like, I don't know. I think
that Hunter coming over would have been like, whoa, something's definitely wrong. Or even Bethany maybe going upstairs. I just wondering for Dylan. The audio with the dog barking. Okay, so what I know is the girl who released the Ring audio on TikTok came out and said that she doesn't even live there. That was her Ring audio from her neighbors fighting, and she released it in the hopes that people would be able to hear what a Ring camera could catch. Now, did she come out and lie and say she wasn't from there? I don't know. I'm just telling you she did. So the Ring audio or the camera audio that supposedly catches all the stuff, the thud, the dog barking, all of that, she says she doesn't live in Idaho, and somebody else took her TikTok, made a TikTok saying it was from Idaho. So that's what I know of that. Now, I know that on the body cam from the field, people have said you could hear a scream in the background. The problem with that is the audio from the body cam is much earlier than the time that they have. That was when he would have been, I'd have to go back and look at all my notes to know exactly my times, because I don't remember the times, like the actual times of night that it was. But that audio would have been, it's in TIR. I don't know. Well, I mean, I think we played all of them at one point here when we went through and we're trying to figure out what was what and who was who, and if it was legit or not.
We definitely went over that, I remember.
Drunk person cop call, and I heard another audio. A drunk person cop call. That's the one from the field, and I heard another audio. Jesse, if you figure out that there's 3 different ones, I only know of the 2. If you figure out there's 3 different ones, I'll put something together side by side, and so we can actually look at the times of each of them, and we can listen to the sounds of each of them. If you want to send them to my email, I'd be happy to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I know that I probably still have the Ring audio from TikTok. I probably have that in my files.
You get your coffee, Elena.
Zoe, Friday is my birthday. Wait, next Friday or today Friday? Okay, I heard the Ring camera person say it was a fraud. Okay, send me which ones you're talking about, so then we'll just put them together and we'll come live and just do it.
Yep.
Okay, Jane, my sis had major surgery when we were little, and when I visited her in the hospital, I could smell her. I was very close to her, but I could smell the blood, etc., from her wounds.
It is. It's very interesting to see everybody's take on it because everybody is kind of split with this whole blood smell thing, whatnot. You have Ginny here who says she could with her sister, and she was in the actual like hospital room with her. But then you also have Karen, who in same thing, hospital room as a nurse, around I believe multiple bodies. She said or multiple wounds, and the scent was kind of light, like it didn't. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, right?
Well, that's kind of what I think. So Ginny went and visited her sister and could smell it. So she wasn't accustomed to the smell.
Right.
She walked into it.
Right. But Karen, being a nurse, used to it, being in the room already, wouldn't pick it up as strong because she's more, like you said. Right.
What was the temperature in the house? It was winter, so I'm not sure how cold it would have been in that house. That's another point too.
Right.
Is what was the temperature in the house? That would also change the smell and the way that you could smell it.
Very true. Very true.
I don't find it weird. Lex, you don't find it weird that they called siblings of Ethan with the twins living minutes away or whatever? I think that was reasonable, but that's just me. I don't know why 911 took so long though.
Yeah. Oh, look, I could see them absolutely making, one on one phone, one maybe on the other, but knowing what we know, one passed out, one made it. And then clearly people must have grabbed their phones from what we know. I just think they would have been able to get that attention even without calling, and your just initial shock would send you running out the door. But again, that's just me. It's so hard because you're trying to put yourself in their shoes, and some can see it and some just can't. And I can see both. It's just very hard to wrap your mind around. I also think it's somebody coming into a college house in the middle of the night and doing what they did to these 4 beautiful kids. Another just trying to wrap your head around that.
Angel, I'm not gonna post your comment, but because I don't want you to have too much TMI. But I understand that, and I do agree. I don't know if that's. I don't know.
Yeah.
You literally have to have an experiment with something along those lines to see, and then I think that's a great point that Logical One made. Is what was the temperature in the house? It would completely change.
For sure.
What was going, acclimating to the smell. Yeah, I don't know, that. And is it different for everybody?
Exactly.
You see what I mean? A lot of blood does have a smell. Sometimes you can taste it. I had a lot of cuts, stitches you can smell and taste even though it's not around the face. Oh, I agree with that. I can taste blood when I bleed or when I see other people's blood. Yeah.
Really?
Because I was weird when I was little. If I would get a cut or something on my finger or my hand or something, I would just suck my blood.
Oh wow!
Talk about TMI. I would. So I feel if I see blood, I can taste that.
Oh wow! Yeah, no, I've never. I don't feel like I could smell it or taste it, but I also try to put myself in that position with 4 bodies in a sense, just completely. And I'm I would have to, right? You would have to. But I'm okay, maybe not.
I think Nadine's got that smell. She's got the nose of a bloodhound.
Yes. Right. Perfect.
Yeah, same. Who needs Band-Aids? Right, Nadine? See, I knew I loved you. Brian?
No damn Band-Aid.
Your husband, okay, blood definitely has a copper smell. We were visiting family when 2 doors down, neighbor's ex-boyfriend showed up with a and took his anger out on her and her new boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
And my husband could smell it 2 doors down.
Wow. Oh.
Whoa.
That's
okay. So this, and I don't mean this as grotesque. Would it be different? Okay, so our sense of smells are different. Would it also smell different based on the person who's bleeding?
Right.
Does that make sense? I don't even know if that makes sense. Would somebody who's bleeding have an over? I don't know those kinds of things. Nurse Karen.
Yes. Where's our Karen?
Do people's blood smell different, or is blood like a universal smell?
Sammy says it's the iron levels.
Oh. So if somebody has a higher iron level, then they might smell. Their blood might smell more. This sounds really grotesque, and I don't sound like that.
I'm so interesting.
Smell thing.
Oh, I like understanding this type of stuff.
with hubby's shoes all the way in the back bedroom. I can smell instantly if he has stepped in dog poop from the front door. Yes, it would be different based on the person who was bleeding. It is different.
But there's like 4 of them. So one of them would have to, right? I don't know. See, this is what happens when you go into craziness.
Well, yeah, and then also the amount of blood.
Right. Like that was, I mean, this blood was dripping through the floors. You know what I mean?
People's blood can smell different.
Yeah. Our nurse.
This is so interesting.
Right?
I didn't even think of that.
We love our chat. They always educate us. They do.
Do not start bleeding to find out.
Yeah, please.
This is getting, Electro's like, this is
Can't
getting
help
weird.
you.
This happens at like 4 a.m. in the UK, Electro.
Yes,
It gets
Electro.
weird.
You know
I
where you
We've
are.
been on for 3.5 hours. I think we covered all the updates of the things that I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. And Michelle, it's like super uber late where you are too. And it has taken an odd turn with the smell of blood, and now I feel like I'm a little bit of a creeper. And
We have to watch our Natalia Grace documentary though, guys. Don't forget.
I go watch the Natalia Grace documentary. Tell me, I gotta know if you guys think she's a child or an adult.
Yes. Yes.
This
And
smells
it was
actually
somebody who was supposed to send you audio clips. Was it Jesse?
Yeah, if they find them, they're gonna send them to me.
Yeah,
I
Jesse, if
wonder
you
where
have them,
exactly
please
the
send
pics
them.
were all found, like from what we know for sure, without a doubt, from the affidavit. Anyone know? My opinion is that the 2 girls were found on Maddie's bed, and that Xana was found on the floor, and Ethan was found in Xana's bed. That's my interpretation of the information. So
Exactly what T said. She brings that down.
or he was found very close to her bed, at least.
Yeah.
Look at you guys are all so smart. Lolo says her blood smells like cheeseburgers.
Mine would be.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I have to wrap it up anyway because, like I said, we've been on here a long time. I think we covered all the things that we wanted to cover.
Yeah, we did.
If Jesse finds those clips, then I'll definitely put something together for that. We will cover Zechariah Anderson because obviously I keep bringing it up. I obviously want to cover it like subconsciously, so might as well just do it. And then, Missy's been really following it. And Michelle's been doing it or following it. I think we'll just cover it and see what you guys think. I once again, I thank you guys. I thank you guys so much for being. I thank you guys so much for all of your thoughts, all of your prayers, just all your kindness towards me. And I love you guys, Lolo. I love all of you guys. I really do. It's like, it's such a weird thing. Like we don't know each other, but like you start to know people's personalities, and it's like my husband's always like you can't meet friends online, and I'm like, yes, you can. You can meet friends online because I do. I when people aren't here, I realize they're not here.
Yeah,
when people are late, I know that they're late. You know what I mean? Like you get to know different people and you get to know different personalities, and I love that we share, some things that we agree on, and we share things that we don't always agree on, and nobody is pissed off about it. It's just like it is what it is, and then we kind of wait for the end result, and we come back together and we go, okay, here we are.
And think of what real friends do. They have something in common for the most part. And what makes them such good friends is that they could sit there and literally talk it out for hours. And if that's not what we don't come up here and do when we do, and we have an amazing chat that just follows the cases that we do. We try to interact with the cases that they want to, but my God, you guys are so awesome to us, to our literally the entire platform in every which way. We see you in chat protecting us even when the foolishness starts. We see you totally interacting when it comes to the cases. You want the justice just like we do. You care about the babies like we do. You educate us every single time we are up here. And the best part is we do get to be friends. You know what I mean? And we get to set the boundaries of all of that. And that's what makes this type of setting so awesome. So no doubt.
To figure out the things that we're all thinking. Like we all have this common thing that we want to know what actually happened. We want the truth and we want justice. So we come together and we try to work through it. Yeah. But I appreciate every one of you guys. I really do. And like when I'm down, you guys are in my inbox and you guys are telling me, it's going to be okay. And the hardest time of my life. And you guys messaged me so much that I knew that there was people who were thinking about me. And even I really felt the love. And I thank you guys for that.
Love and support is the biggest thing you can bring to a friendship, and trust and believe in these moments, in these times. Look at everything Teresa has been through this year. You guys have stood front and center, not even just for us in a whole, but, you know, for Teresa. And that's kind of how we all got here. So the fact that you guys do that, it's just awesome. And we do. We got a great team here. We got a great platform, and we're lucky that we have you to make sure it all happens. So
I feel all warm. Wish you too, Angel. I feel all warm.
That's it.
So thank you guys for spending your Friday night hanging out here. And Electro, thank you for being in the UK and still being here. I appreciate that too. But just know, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not appreciative of each and every single one of you. And Michelle, I love you, and I am such a jerk that I missed your birthday. I hope you loved your birthday song from Brittany.
Shut the hell up. I love you.
Anybody's birthday who's coming up, happy birthday! And we will be back soon.
And Lola, we're thinking of you. You and Mama. Love you, Karen.
All right. Go enjoy your weekend. Now, group hug. Everybody group hug.